You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets year. For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home
Stadium, the big story, Mets 86. Exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
Let's go Rangers, baby. Dominating performance by the New York Rangers against the New Jersey Devils. What a performance. Had to represent my Rangers tonight, guys. I know this is all about the Mets, but playoff hockey, baby, nothing better than that. Prudential Center is clearing out. Ranger fans are left. 5-1. Heedle just scored an empty net goal. Let's go, baby. Easy victory. Dominating performance by the Rangers. Everybody counted the Rangers out in this series. Everybody I hear, oh, look at the Devils. Well, they just got spanked by the Rangers. Kreider with 2 goals. Let's go, baby. Got to represent. Let's go, Rangers, baby. On the game, too. But here we are. Another Mets pregame live. Mets Dodgers, 10 o'clock tonight. Great performance yesterday by the Mets. Peterson struggled to keep the ball in the ballpark. It was basically everybody else but Freeman was a problem yesterday. I mean, everybody wasn't a problem except for Freeman yesterday. He just was a pain in the ass all game. And David Peterson got the win by default, basically, by the Mets scoring 8 runs. And what a performance and defensive plays by Brandon Nimmo, basically keeping that game or keeping the tying run off, coming to the plate if that ball would have fell in the 9th inning in left center. So a great play by Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo has been playing elite defense all season. I mean, he's on Gold Glove caliber performance 17 games into the season. Great start by the Mets. They're 11-6. 4-0 on the road stand or on the road trip. That's exactly the way you want to start a road trip. Tonight we got Big Drip Tylor Megill on the mound, of course facing Clayton Kershaw and the buzzers about the sound. And the Rangers win game 1 of the end of their first game of the playoffs against the Jersey Devils, and they can hang out on the other side of the Hudson and laugh this game off because the Devils were actually embarrassing today. But for a team that doesn't play good defense in the Rangers, they play great defense today. So, with that said, Mets have a great opportunity here with 2 games left in this series to win the series, and I think they're going to do it. I think they're confident right now. They don't think anybody can beat them. It's not even about what happens on the mound. They feel like they can score now. And where were the Met fans that were complaining about the offense and complaining about this and complaining about that? They're 7th in runs scored. Now, batting average, they're on the lower 3rd. They're last, actually, or were last in average, which makes no sense, but they're scoring runs. And we always go back to the same conversation and same question. It's not about how you win, it's did you win? If you have to ask about how you won, then your main focus is does it look pleasing when they win? Like, do we need 6 home runs in a ball game, or would you rather score 8 runs and who the hell cares how it happened? And I think that's the problem that not a lot of people are talking about, specifically Met fans for that matter, because of the fact that this team shows you that when you think they're out, they find a way to figure it out. And they've been, we're not even a month through the season. We're going, this is game number 18 today. Yet we've been through so much adversity as a team already, and it's all been on the field. It's been injuries, and then it's been the sweep by the Milwaukee Brewers. And ever since that sweep with the Milwaukee Brewers, the Mets have been one of the better teams in baseball since that point, and they've been good. And, they beat up on the teams they're supposed to beat, right? There's no shame in beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. And the Mets have done that. They have not lost a series to a bad team. That's a good sign. They lost 1 series, and that was against the Brewers when it came to getting swept. And it didn't look good, but ever since then, that's the only series we lost. And that's something that, at the moment, this is the only series we lost. And the Mets are a really good team. They can get better, absolutely, but you can look around all of baseball and find a team that can actually look better, right? Every team can get better. And it's just obvious that the New York Mets, of course, Beatty provided a little bit, but you know what? People went crazy. Oh, look at Beatty, look great. Well, guess what? He did the exact same thing that Alvarez did. Got a RBI single, great, but he didn't get nothing else done the rest of the game, right? Again, I think Beatty's going to be fine, but, for all the people that says, oh, that's why Alvarez needs to go down, look at Beatty. Well, Alvarez did the same exact thing in his first game, just like Beatty did. So and Beatty's not playing today, oh, by the way, which I'm not shocked because he didn't look good against lefties yesterday, and Clayton Kershaw is one of the best, even though he's up there in age and he's probably way past his prime at this point. It's a tough matchup for Beatty. I would have thrown him out there, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to go crazy about the lineup today. We will go over the lineup in just a second. We're at about 15 minutes until game time. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Talking Mets at Rob. If you wonder why the hell am I wearing a Rangers shirt and you're not a hockey fan, maybe you should be. Rangers playoff game today against the Devils, won 5-1, dominating performance. So that's why I look like I am not on a baseball channel, but I am a big Ranger fan. So it was nice to see the Rangers dominated performance today when everybody basically picked the Devils to win, at least in this game and in this series. Again, a long way to go, but a good start by my Rangers. So once again, I'm going to stick with you throughout the entire game. Work kind of got pushed back, which is great. So I'll be hanging out with you guys throughout the entire Mets-Dodger game today. So we should have fun. Hopefully the Mets continue to score some runs because that's what they've been doing lately. And they've been finding ways to win. They've been They've been winning in every way possible. Low scoring game, they find a way to win. High scoring game, they find a way to win. Right? No matter what it is, they've been finding ways to win. The Mets have won this year in every situation. Low scoring games, high scoring games, bad pitching performances, bad offensive performances. They've been finding ways to win. And that's important for a team that a lot of people saying that they're not good enough. Well, I mean, in 130 games, the Phillies weren't good enough. And I keep on bringing that up because if you ask a Philly fan, they would tell you they're the best team in baseball after they got to the World Series, right? But it's an overall situation with every team. You got to look at the overall situation with each team. And I think too many people are narrowly focused and have very narrow focus on certain things with certain teams, and they just keep on beating the drum with it, and it keeps on coming back to maybe the Mets aren't that bad, and people just overreacted over 3 games. And that's the issue that I have with a lot of fans. And again, you can criticize them. You can be negative. Like, there's no reason you can't criticize Escobar. He's been terrible, right? Criticize him. But there's people that are saying, oh, look, they don't score no run for 3 innings. And then all of a sudden here comes everybody going, hey, oh, look at this team. I told you they needed to make more moves. Well, it's 3 innings, right? The majority of the runs that the Mets score is between the 4th and 7th inning. They've done that all year. So with that said, the Mets got a 5-game winning streak, 4-game winning streak on the West Coast trip. Good start. They're 4-0 on the West Coast trip. Couldn't ask for anything better at the moment. Again, people are going to be like, oh, well, look, they beat Oakland. Well, great. Everybody who plays Oakland should be beating Oakland, right? So they beating the teams they're supposed to beat. The same people that were bitching and moaning in September when they could have beat bad teams are now bitching and moaning and saying, well, they're only beating bad teams. Well, which way do you want it? Do you want them to lose so you can complain more? No. So we have an opportunity against the Dodgers, who, let's be honest, they're struggling a little bit. Even though they scored 6 runs, you can see that they're not running on all cylinders right now, right? Their bullpen is terrible, clearly. I mean, they have over 4 now after the game yesterday, over a 4.5 ERA on their bullpen. So what is the key to the game today? Get Kershaw out of the game early. Make him work. All right? This is a guy that has thrown a ton of innings. He's not going to be able to throw 90 to 95 pitches and continue in the game, even if he is doing well. Get him out early and bring in that bullpen that is really struggling for the Dodgers right now and take advantage of that. Not saying you can't take advantage of Kershaw as well, but work the counts. The Mets did exactly what they needed to do. They didn't have a lot of walks yesterday, but they got a lot of deep counts. And it was important because it got May out of his rhythm. May has been one of their best pitchers, starting pitchers, had under a 2 ERA in his first 3 starts of the year. It looked like he was not even close to that pitcher against the Mets. The Mets frustrated him. They were fouling pitches off, giving long counts, and when he would try to make a pitch, they executed on his mistakes. And that's what the Mets do well. When the Mets are rolling, they work the count, they frustrate the pitcher, and they get the pitcher out early. And a lot of the times, you're not going to find a team that has a really good bullpen. There's a couple of teams that might have 1 or 2 guys, but for the most part, if you get these starters out in the 5th inning, guess what? You're going to have to use some bullpen arms that you're not going to have that much confidence in. And that's why the Mets were so good last year, because they were able to get into the back end of these teams' bullpens that managers don't want to use in a situation where they're trying to keep a game close and trying to win a ball game here. You're going to wear them out, and that's what this team does well. And they've started to do this again this year. And I appreciate the fact that they not only, have been clutch over the last 4 or 5 games, but they've been playing very well, and they're not out of any game. And I think you have to start to realize that and start to believe a little bit. So with that said, if you just tune in, I saw some people writing in the chat, Carlos Carrasco going in the IL with right elbow inflammation. Jeff Brigham is getting called up from the minors, so he'll be in the bullpen. And I did put up the poll: who is going to replace Carlos Carrasco in the rotation, Joey Lucchesi or Dylan Bundy? I believe right before I went live, Joey Lucchesi was winning, which I'm not shocked about. The Mets really like Joey Lucchesi, so I wouldn't be shocked if he makes that next start that was supposed to be Carrasco in San Francisco. That's something that we will see and see what would happen. So, but I like Joey Lucchesi. It was a good situation when they signed him until he got Tommy John. He pitched well for us until he got hurt. So that's a good sign for the Mets as well. It could be a blessing in disguise. We'll see. But a lot of good things came out of yesterday. Pete Alonso was raging hot, got his average over 300, guys. That's something that, if you look, people are trying to compare Pete Alonso to Judge because that's obvious because of New York, Yankees, Mets, and, in New York. That's why people are comparing. If you look at Aaron Judge in the same age where Pete Alonso is now, Aaron Judge is not even close to what Pete Alonso is doing at that same age. And I'm talking about average-wise now. And by the way, Pete Alonso plays every day, unlike Aaron Judge early on in his career. So what we always wanted to see from Pete Alonso was getting better in defense. He done that. Getting that average up because we always know the power was there. But batting 240 and hitting 35, 40 home runs is all nice and all. But you want to get that average up to like 250, 260, between 260 and 270. And that's where you start to creep in saying, wow, this guy could be an MVP type of guy. If you're hitting close to 300 and still hitting 40 plus jacks and hitting over, driving in 100 RBIs or more, you're an MVP candidate. And that's what Pete Alonso is right now. And he's on pace to, I think, they hit like, I know that's crazy, but it's like 80-something, 81 home runs or 78 home runs. I know that's not the pace he's going to probably stay at, obviously. If he is, then, well, he might reach Bonds, but that's way down the road. But you see what happens when Pete Alonso is completely on fire. Lindor has been, well, McGill started to get hot yesterday, who struggled in that Oakland series. So that's a good sign. And then Nimmo just does what Nimmo does when he's at the plate, draw to walks, get on base, and that's what Nimmo does best. Marte was still getting robbed, hitting the ball hard, but no luck for him. I mean, even Canna had good at bats. Vogelback hit a 2-run homer. I mean, it's crazy. Like when these guys get going, this lineup is dangerous because they're frustrating to pitch to. So we got about 10 minutes until game time, guys. So once again, don't forget to hit on that like button. Another West Coast game right here on the East Coast. I know some people are from the West Coast, so lucky you. So unfortunately, us East Coasters must bear the late nights once again on this West Coast trip. And, like I said, there's a whole hashtag going around through Mets Twitter, which is Mets After Dark. So it's a funny hashtag because people, like really cranky in the morning because they barely get any sleep because they're staying up to watch the game and then going to work. So it's a lot of fun. And like I said, I think you it feels like a family-oriented thing when your team's on the West Coast as an East Coast team because it feels like you're the only one up with every other Mets fan and everybody else is asleep. So it's kind of like an intimate, friendly type of moment type of thing, like with your buddies and stuff, hanging out, getting the beer, drinking up, hanging out. That's the way it feels. So Mets have an opportunity to win the series today. And again, if you figure out a way to win this ball game and you win the series, you're 5-0 on the West Coast trip. And as I said, I think 6-4 is pretty good considering a West Coast trip, that especially a long West Coast trip. Usually you want to go 500 because it is not an easy trip no matter who you face. But if you start 5-0 and you still got 5 more games to go be very disappointing if you end up 5-5, right? A 500 team, because that means you lose the last 5 in a row, right? So, but it gives you an opportunity to, if you lose one here, all right, fine. You got 4 games against the Giants, or if you sweep the Dodgers, you got 4 more games against the Giants. You lose 1 or 2, all right, you're still gonna have 7, 8 wins coming out of that West Coast trip. And I'm telling you right now, if the Mets go 8-2, or 7-3, 8-2, 9-1, or 10-0, any of those, Met fans are gonna be they're gonna be unbearable, because they're gonna be like, oh, look at this. They never do this. Oh, everybody's gonna get pumped up. The home stand's gonna be crazy. You got the Nationals, then the Braves. It's gonna be insane. So it's important to, even when you're going well, to take a step back and realize that it's a long season. That's like, everybody thought the season was over after the Brewers swept the Mets, and everybody was talking about 2024 already, and not even worrying about the other 158 games we had to play, 55 games we had to play, and now everybody's back on the bandwagon again. Can't have it both ways, right? That's why you got to stay even keel. You got to criticize them when you can criticize them, and also get excited about them and believe in them as well. You got to balance it out there. It's not the end of the world if they lose a game. It's not the best thing in the world if they win a game, right? But showing the way they've been playing is why Met fans are starting to get excited. You can look at it on social media and just on sports radio in New York. It just feels like this team is figuring it out and running on all cylinders. And the Met fans are loving it right now. But slow it down a little bit, because you see how fast things can change, right? The Brewers series happened, and people are ready to jump off the Verrazano, right? Now everybody's right up on that same bandwagon again, riding the wave. So let's try to let's get behind Big Drip today and Tylor Megill. Let's see if the offense continues to score runs. The Mets haven't really hit lefties as well as I'd like, but with us, Kershaw doesn't throw as hard anymore, so he's more of he's going to throw a ton of breaking balls, and I think the Mets need to be patient and stay back. Don't try to flail out and get out in front of it, because Kershaw's not throwing 97, 98 anymore. He's probably throwing 93 to 95. Yes, still pretty fast, but you don't have to, take it an extra second and try to catch up to a fastball now. So you can stay back a little bit more. I want to see them be patient with Kershaw and work his pitch count. And that's what the Mets need to do. So let's get to the Mets lineup before the game starts in 5 minutes. It'll be scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So obviously Tylor Megill is on the mound, and Clayton Kershaw is on the mound with our 11-6 New York Mets, 2 games out of first place against the Braves, which is not that big of a deal at the moment, but just wanted to bring that up. So lineup for tonight against Clayton Kershaw. Top 4, not surprising, right? Brandon Nimmo leading off. He is DHing today. Starler Marte batting second, playing right field. Francisco Lindor batting third, playing shortstop. Pete Alonso playing first base and cleaning up. Mark Hanna batting fifth, playing left field. Jeff McNeil, who is red hot now. Jeff McNeil, sixth, playing second base. Tommy Pham getting a start in center field, batting seventh. Eduardo Escobar getting a start at third base. And Tomas Nido is behind the plate and batting ninth. So very interesting lineup, right? You had Vogelback with 3 RBIs, can't hit lefty, so he's not in the lineup. Brett Beatty was 1 for 4 yesterday. Tough lefty on the mound in Kershaw. Escobar's getting a start, right? You see, you try to put a little bit more righties in there. Tommy Pham has been good for us, so why not put Tommy Pham in there? I agree with that. I would have kept McNeil behind Alonso because it seemed to work yesterday, but because of the lefty, I get it. See what Canada can do with the left-hander batting fifth. But is it interesting to see that Buck's taking Nimmo out of center field today to get him off his feet and DHing him, which I think you have to do, because he put his body through it the last couple of days when making all those damn plays that he's made over the last couple of games in Oakland and then yesterday. So get him off his feet, let him DH. Obviously, he's perfectly fine, taking a breather and getting up to the plate. That's what Nimmo does. Nimmo hits. So getting him off his feet is a good idea. You got to keep him healthy. He's one of the linchpins to the Mets' success. So that is the lineup. It's scrolling on the bottom of your screen along with the pitching matchup. And don't forget to hit on that like button, guys. We got a couple of minutes until game time. As always, game day will be up. And also, the Mets will be starting in a few minutes, just waiting for the Dodgers to get on the field. Should be starting at 10:10. And they're showing Tylor Megill and Clint Kershaw throwing in the outfield right now, so it might be a little bit later, a couple of minutes later, but we'll see. But I'll set up game day right now. Just give me 1 second, guys. Should be ready to go in just a second. There we go. All right, let's make it more pleasing. Let me see something. I want to see if I can zoom in a little bit more. I know some people said it's a little hard to see, but this is the nonsense that Game Day does now because of this. They have a new 3D feature, which is kind of cool, but it just sucks. It's a little too much. Yeah, see, you can't zoom in any further. Whoop, that's not good. I don't want to print. All right, so Mets obviously will be coming up in the top half. You got Nimmo, Marte, Lindor to lead off. So once again, guys, please hit on that like button. Let's get more people in the stream. Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Dodgers. McGill on the mound against Clayton Kershaw. Mets won 8-6 yesterday. Kept on coming back every time the Dodgers went ahead, and the Mets took advantage of a bad bullpen from the Dodgers, and that's what they got to do again today. Kershaw can fool you with all his funky pitches and his crazy curveball and his, get you off balance. So the Mets got to work him and work that pitch count, and I think they're going to do that again. It might not be successful in a win, but getting him out by the 5th inning lets the Dodger bullpen come in and has to get 4 more innings to get the Mets and give them a loss. So that's something that the Mets have to do today, as they did yesterday with May. The only reason why I think he's not playing is because of the fact that Kershaw is a nasty lefty, and Beatty didn't look good against lefties yesterday. So I think Buck was like, you know what? Let's just sit him down. He'll probably play tomorrow, most likely. So, and he'll probably play in San Francisco as well. So I'm not too worried about that. I get it. It's a tough lefty. Again, Beatty might pinch hit for Escobar in later in the game when there's a righty on the mound. So it's not like Beatty's going to be sitting the whole game. So, again, we are just waiting for the game to start, guys. So another West Coast game on the East Coast for the majority of the people, or some people. The game is supposed to start at 10:10, or if you're in the West Coast, 7:10, or if you're in somewhere where it's a 2-hour difference or an hour difference, 7, 8, 10. So we're just waiting. No, but Escobar puts a little bit better at bats together right-handed. So they're doing the national anthem. I don't know what this is, actually. I'm not sure what they're doing. They're showing, I don't know. There's people there, I don't know, but the game's about to start. They were showing something. So let's get it going, guys. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear the audio. Nimmo is coming up to the plate. All right, here we go. First pitch coming.
First pitch of the night from Clayton Kershaw is in for a call strike to Nimmo underway. Fastballs, sliders,
Come on, Brandon.
balls, and so only 3 changeups so far this year for Kershaw. This is inside the fastball. It's 1-1. Lots of sliders this year. 3% slider for Kershaw through his first 3 starts. He's down 6 innings in each of the 3, winning 2 and losing 1. And Nimmo bounces one slowly foul on the slider. That's 1-2.
Gary, Chief, one thing he hasn't done, though, that he's done this year that he hasn't done in the past, he's throwing to the arm side. So inside the lefties, away from right-handers, he's using that side of the plate so far this season.
In his long career, the Mets have beaten him only once, so that was in the postseason.
And Nimmo starts with – oh, he drops it. Nimmo's going to second. He's going to third. Go, Brandon. Go, 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 go. And that's going to be a triple. Hayward couldn't catch the ball. And That is a leadoff triple. They might be an error, but we'll see. That's a good start. He broke in, went back, and then he just turned around, and Hayward fell on his ass, and Nimmo got the third. That's a good start for the Mets. I'll take that. That's why defense matters, guys. And always Nimmo hustling around those bases. All right, so it's a 3-base error, so it's not a triple for – it's not a hit for Nimmo, but good start. Come on, Starlin.
They did it for Escobar last season.
Infield back, and the curveball fouled down the right field side, and Kershaw head on Marte 0-2.
And your Volkswagen Dodger defense, Austin Barnes behind the plate. He's one of the stalwarts here. Been here a little time. Muncy and Freeman, very good corner infielders. Out in the outfield, the rookie James Outman. I'm anxious to see him play. So he can go get him. Got a good arm.
No Mookie Betts tonight. Betts is on the paternity list by Hayward's playing right field. But Dick Roberts was dropping hits today that perhaps when Betts comes back, and they believe he'll be back tomorrow, he might be the Dodgers shortstop. Betts has never played an inning at short in the major leagues, 14 games in the minor leagues, but he's played a good bit of second base.
And Marte fouls it off.
That slider to stay in the event.
So it's plan B for the Dodgers.
Well, he would be nice, man. He's been hitting the ball hard, just right at people.
Just on spring training, really hurt. Dave consulted Miguel Rojas before he made that announcement.
Miguel signed up here to be a backup player to Lux, and I think he's probably better off in that role. And I think that's Dave's reasoning. I mean, he's got a goal.
There you go.
Right fielder, notwithstanding that.
Staying alive in the at-bat, making that pitch count get up. Already 9 pitches.
That would be their best team, at least for the short term.
That's right, Joe.
The Cubs were in here, took 2 out of 3, and the Mets took the first one last night.
Come on, Starlin.
Nimmo at third with nobody out. 2-strike count to Nimmo. And the curveball.
Oh, struck him out. Nice curveball.
That signature like Kershaw curveball. He doesn't throw as many as he does his slider, but it is still desperately to get to his first out.
Oh, it's been great since day one. It's probably one of the biggest breaking balls in baseball since his debut.
Now with 1 out, the Dodgers are going to bring the infield in for Francisco Lindor. Lindor 0 for 4, drove in a run with a
all right, Frankie, come on.
Night. 17 RBIs, tied for the National League lead, and he wastes no time swinging it down the back of fastball, nothing wrong.
Interesting, Dave Roberts last night, early in the game, as late as the 4th inning, conceded the run. Tonight, he's bringing the infield in the first inning.
Kershaw with that signature high stretch. And
another nice curveball. See, you got to stay back on that curveball. Can't swing at that junk.
It's only our 18th year.
I'm Tom. He's Dick. He's Harry. Kershaw tonight trying to go for his 200th win. The last to reach 200 wins was Max Scherzer, who will pitch for the Mets tomorrow after having his start pushed back a few days. 16 pitchers in history have won 200 games.
And Lindor strikes out. Mets can't hit that curveball right now. 2 outs.
Not only does it have a big break, but there's such a velocity.
Well, Hebrew, the Mets have actually been scoring lately.
Sometimes it's hard to wait back.
Classic Kershaw. Finding himself in a jam. He's got 2 straight strikeouts.
Come on, Pete.
He faces Alonso.
Open base, yeah, he attacks him.
And he attacked him with a fastball. He fouled it back. He had 3 hits last night. Well, it's in this ballpark.
It'll be interesting because Pete should, from Kershaw, get a lot of pitches in on his hands. The set position, watch his feet. It's almost like a pigeon toe with both feet against each other.
That left Toe resting on the right foot. And that's actually so it's 0-2.
Kershaw's curveball is sharp.
He's out of the shoot. Hit making pitches.
He goes to the curveball again. He'll want this one to be in the dirt. Two coming on, so he goes to the fastball and fouls it off. You're right about the difference in velocity. 19 miles an hour difference between that curveball.
Hebrew, it's baseball. Not everybody always gets it done every single time.
He's got the funky motion too. He's got the big shoulder lift. He's unorthodox. He's not fluid in his motion. It's hard to pick up his head.
Hesitation with that foot dangling in the air. And he dribbles one
Ground
out
ball,
the
and it's going foul.
And the curveball, and he was able to at least make contact after both Marte and Lindor struck out on the curve. Well, only two pitchers in Dodger history, not just the LA Dodgers, the entire Dodger history have won 200 games.
It's pathetic, Hebrew, but every team it happens to. If everybody gets it 100% of the time, we wouldn't watch because there's no anticipation.
The pitchers that have 200 wins will have the best winning percentage in the game.
Why? Because it's the first inning.
Best ERA behind Walter Johnson.
2.49 coming into tonight's game.
And Alonso 0-2, and Pete grounds that one foul.
Well, good news is already over 20 pitches. So at the very, going to be over 20 pitches after this pitch. So it's already 20 pitches. So at the very least, the Mets made them work.
For the lead in home runs with Patrick Wisdom of the Cubs, fourth in RBIs, third in slugging percentage.
Wisdom is homered in 4 straight games before this evening's game.
So that for his 20th pitch of this opening inning. Nimmo at third with 2 out.
Coming in.
And he strikes out. So after Nimmo gets on with a 3-base error, 3 strikeouts in a row for Clayton Kershaw, and we're going to the bottom of the first. No score. So a couple of bad at-bats from these guys. You know, you want to put the bat on the ball there, but 3 strikeouts in a row. And, you know, Kershaw got his curveball. So that's the issue that the Mets are going to fall into right now. At the moment, he's got his curveball. But they did make him throw 20 pitches, so they did make him work. So, unfortunately, we didn't get the job done there in the first inning. I know everybody's jumping off the bandwagon already. So, you might as well leave and go to sleep because you're not going to waste anybody's time just bitching and moaning. It's the first inning, guys. Relax. Gotta relax. Gotta relax. Guys, gotta get relaxed a little bit. It's the first inning. But it hasn't happened for the whole season. That's the problem. Like, you guys just assume it happens for the Stizzo, plans change. I mean, you would never think this team is 11-6. The way you guys think, commenting, my God, it's 1 inning, guys. Relax, right? When Freddie Freeman hit the home run yesterday, it felt like everybody thought the game was over. Gotta relax. It's 1 inning. It's a bad first inning. There's 8 more innings to go. I think certain ones we know what we're talking about. But Richard, have you watched baseball, all around baseball? You don't come through 100% of the time. You see the problem with that? If every team would come through 100% of the time, then nobody would watch. There would be no fans. The reason why is the anticipation, the not knowing what's going to happen. That's the problem. Well, you can't say that after the first inning. Like, I mean, come on. Like, that's just stupidity there, guys. Come on. Richard, that's not true. Have you seen the 11 games that we won? Or did you not watch those games? Bottom of the first, no score. In everybody else's thought, the game's over already. So go to bed. Don't waste anybody's time. Seriously, guys, come on. Don't start in the first inning.
McGill on the mound after the Mets started the lefty Peterson last night. And a swing and miss by Outman, 0-2.
I didn't realize we played one inning. No, Hebrew, you're starting to sound like a dummy. I'm going to time you out because you're just ridiculous right now. Like, you really are. My God. Please stop. Not today, guys. Not tonight.
And Outman hits one slowly foul.
You know, how many jams did the Mets get out of? Right? You act like the Mets are the only team that don't score runs with runners in scoring position when a guy on third with nobody out. I mean, come on. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but at the same time, you're acting like the game is over. Go to bed. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm not playing games today, guys. And look, the game's not over yet. McGill strikes out. One out. Act like you watch baseball, guys. Okay, Richard, I understand that. But they're also 11-6, so they're finding ways to score and win ball games. Jesus. Oh, and Freeman again. The only guy that hasn't been killing the Mets. This guy's amazing against the Mets, man. The guy sees red when he sees this team.
I guess it's half a victory. It kept them in the ballpark.
Come on, Tyler, let's go.
J.D. Martinez, the DH, went 0 for 4 last night. And McGill pops the outside corner, 0-1. McGill has won each of his first 3 starts this year. Last Met pitcher to win each of his first 4 starts, and there were 2 of them in 2015.
Richard, here we go. Is the game over? I just want you to know. Because if you think the game is over, go away. Please. Because it's the first inning. It's 1 inning, 1 run that was on third. That's it. You're not being realistic. You're being a fanboy. You're being a guy that jumps on the bandwagon when things are good and jump off of it when it's bad. Richard, time out for you too. Please. Please go, guys. If you're going to start being stupid in the first inning, don't waste your time. Please. Not today. This team's 11-6, and you act like they had the record of the Phillies.
Elderly group. Already missing Jose Quintana for half a year. Justin Verlander is yet to throw a pitch. Max Scherzer had his start pushed back. And now Carlos Carrasco goes on the injured list.
Thank you, Greg.
Martinez missed 2-2. Carrasco has a little elbow issue. They're calling it intubation right
Thank
now.
you, Jake. I'll put you in too. I appreciate that, Greg. I know I'm not a pro when commentating, so I try not to speak over the pros. Come on, Tyler.
Mets have already gone to their depth starters in McGill and Peterson. And McGill certainly pitched well. Peterson had a win last night, although he struggled. He called up Jose Buto to make a start in Oakland, and that went well. You're going to have to find a pitcher for Friday in San Francisco to take Carrasco's spot. Maybe Joey Lucchesi. Maybe Buto again. See how that goes. 3-2 with 1 out. We'll say Freeman's running. Max Muncy on deck. Freeman not going, and Martinez fouls one off his leg.
I didn't think they would send Freddie. JD has 24 strikeouts on the year.
So McGill got 11 pitches, 1 out, 1 on.
Solid start from JD Martinez. He has only 15 hits, but 10 of the 15 have been for extra bases.
He's got 2 triples. So he got one off his leg. So he
Yeah, Marcus, that was a tough loss by the Knicks. They didn't come to play at all. So it's a full count on Martinez, excuse me.
Again, the 3-2, and Martinez fouls off the fastball for McGill. Vancouver hasn't had much of a problem against the right-hand hitters early in the season. They're hitting just 118 against them.
What do you think about the clocks here for close to center field. Well, true, so I don't think I appreciate that.
You can see them in your peripheral vision.
That's not good vision. You're looking straight ahead at the, you're looking dead center to the whatever that is, 395 in center field. Still, the clock's moving, it's ticking. I like that. There you go. Boy, you really have to focus, put the blinders on.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming from McGill to Martinez.
Keeps on throwing that low fastball that Martinez is fouling off.
Look at the racing form under Hernandez. It will say blinkers on. Yeah, there you go, Dodger Stadium.
Pinky blinders.
Long at bat here for J.D. Martinez. Freeman has not been running on any of these 3-2 pitches, and now McGill, sensing maybe Freddie's flat-footed, throws one over. Now on the 10th pitch of the at-bat, Martinez hits one to center.
That's gone. Wow, that was a shot. 2-0 Dodgers. JD Martinez, dead central. Kept on going back to that fastball.
The Dodgers hit 3 home runs last night. They're getting a huge percentage of their runs from home runs.
Oh, that was bad pitching by McGill. Kept on going to that same fastball low in the zone. Oh, that was a hanger down the middle. Any major league is going to hit that. Stairs, no. I hope not. I mean, for some people, probably. I get it, Hebrew, but at the same time, I feel like one of those nights for one inning, that's a ridiculous statement for one inning. If they did it 3 innings in a row, all right, we have a conversation. But for one inning, it's a pure stupid comment. I'm sorry. I say a lot of stupid crap too, but but I'm just saying, like, you can't go crazy after one inning.
15 runs driven in, top 5 in the league in both categories.
Yeah, that was a hanger. I mean, it would have been a good pitch if it wasn't right over the freaking plate.
McGill trying to get himself resettled. Once he's not going to chase.
I get it's an energy thing, Hebrew. Then you got to do some musa or some yoga or something. Yeah, but if momentum mattered, then the Dodgers should have won yesterday. The amount of time that they took the lead.
McGill behind 3-1, and once he takes a strike to the inside edge, will count. Hayward is sitting 6th.
A lot of Knicks fans are yeah. Well, Knicks fans were putting them in the NBA Finals. Some people, the way the sports radio was talking this morning, and McGill walks him. So a long inning for McGill, 21 pitches. Not what you wanted to see from McGill right now, who's pitched pretty well this year, with under a 2.5 ERA.
We got 2 teams here, 2 lineups that are similar. They 1 and 2 in the National League in walks. The Dodgers are number 2, the Mets are number 1.
As Keith Hernandez just said, you got the 2 teams here in the Dodgers and the Mets, who are 1-2 in walks for the season. The Mets are 1, Dodgers 2. So both teams are extremely patient. Oh, no, I'm not a Nets fan at all. I'm a Knicks fan.
Made the last out of the game last night against Ottavino.
But there's nothing to unfold. It's the first inning. That's the problem. If it was the 4th inning and we've left 5, 6, 7 guys on base, we have an argument to talk about.
McGill grew up not far from here in Long Beach.
Well, they came back twice yesterday, Hebrew. Hayward pops it up. Should be 2 outs. It's not Yankee Stadium, so the ball's going to stay in the park.
I wonder about that, Ronnie.
Oh, I'm not a Knicks hater. It's just that, did you hear Knicks fans after game one? I mean, they were talking about, oh, Giannis got hurt. Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, NBA Finals. Like, can you win this Cleveland series first? Jeez.
Championship games here, so maybe he's been there before, but it's always a rush when you're playing
All right.
on the field that you grew up
2 outs,
loving that
2-0 Dodgers on a JD Martinez 2-run homer in the first.
Miguel Vargas, rookie second baseman, takes a slider for a strike. Vargas over 4 last night, but still has a 400 on base percentage.
I agree, Todd. They were beating up the Knicks today defensively. I mean, you know how many times the Knicks were bleeding today?
You're mentioning Soto in his last start. McGill's given up 6 runs so far this season. All 2-run home runs. 3 2-run home runs. Fortes in Miami. Soto and tonight Martinez.
Vargas, something like flying. What was that?
The ad that he wore.
Oh, it's Nito's pad. It keeps the chest protected. The curve of the shoulder.
Well, I wish I would have thought about Eldorado, but I'm billionaire. Put a patent on that. I'll never see me again.
Any other big ideas you might have missed out on?
Alrighty, so McGill strikes out Vargas to end the inning. Not before JD Martinez hits a 2-run homer to dead center field from a hanging breaking ball right down the middle from Tylor Megill. Mets are coming up. They will have 5, 6, 7. They will have Canna, McNeil, and Pham. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to another West Coast trip. Me, you, Met fans alike on this late night for most people. Guys, everybody on the West Coast, I hate you guys. I'm just playing, guys. So please hit on that like button. And, work hours change, work days change, so I don't got to work, so that's a good thing. So we can just hang out and hope the Mets can come back in this ball game. They came back twice yesterday. So let's see if they can do it again today. And it was a tough first yeah, the sun's out. God damn, I hate you guys. It was a tough first inning, with Nemo getting the third with nobody out, with the big boys coming up, you think somebody would get a sac fly or something. They did what they usually should be doing, get the bat on the ball. We talked about that yesterday. You put the bat on the ball, things can happen. Yesterday, they moved the runner over. They hit a sac fly. Yeah. I'm New York slumming. That's what I'm doing. I ain't dreaming nothing. So if you're just tuning in, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Dodgers are leading 2-0 after the first inning. Mets are coming up in the top of the second. It's a lot of hand-eye coordination for sure, Todd. So they're showing the replays of the 3 strikeouts from Marte, Lindor, and Alonso in the first. Got a nice little sunset in LA right now. Got a little pinkish and black and blue. Nice. Very nice. It's pitch black here. All right, here we go. Let's get something started here. 5, 6, 7.
Arcana leads off for the Mets in the second against Kershaw. Takes a fastball for a strike. 4 last night. It's 3 for 10 in his career against Kershaw. He's never beaten Kershaw in the regular season. 16 starts. He's 10-0. That's hit sharply. Rojas backwards. We go with a throw.
Hit hard and a nice play by Vargas. By Rojas.
Right to the sternum.
I've got him a good shot here, but he stayed in front. He had time to set and plant his foot, still throw out Canada. You got a Gold Glover over there at first base. I'm going to throw a little ball in pocket. Have Freddie clean it up.
Jeff McGill coming off 3 at 9 last night. He had a single, 2 doubles in last night's game. Also played close to home here in Southern California.
Interesting stat. The Mets have never beaten Kershaw in a regular season. We said that about Darvish, too, and look what happened. Ooh. Close out of ball.
So how unusual is Kershaw's curveball? The 2 curveballs that he threw to strike out Marte and Lindor in the first inning. They both had a vertical drop of 67 inches. Now think about that. 67 inches. It's 5 feet 7 inches. It's almost from your head to your feet. Yep, depending on how tall you are. But that's unbelievable.
You know, a lot of times when you hear about a ball moving, they'll say it has some run of 13 to 14 inches. So just imagine how big that break is. So you see it in your eyes and ends up at your toes. No wonder it's so hard to hit.
Goes to McNeil, and he fights one off. That's ball run late.
That's what Jeff does so well.
McNeil's looking a lot better at the plate. Not flailing, staying in there, level swing. Good to see that from Jeff.
If it has the velocity and the late break,
Grounds ball should be 2 outs. And it is.
I face a lot of guys that have breaks like that, but they were rollers. They didn't have a snap. What makes the great curveball, the Don Sutton curveball, the Doyle Alexander curveball, Kershaw, is that it comes up and tries to pull a shake down the rest. It's late break.
So, career versus Kershaw for FAM is 1 for 14. Interesting.
My view, the ball had a tail, comet. That's how sharp it breaks. That's tough to hit because the slider's more flat, so you're the same plane. The curveball starts up in your eyes and down your knees. You've got to anticipate the downward break.
Come on, Tommy.
A hand-eye coordination.
Are you better off with a slight uppercut against a down curveball?
You got the ball low. You got to have more rush. You can't slow it down. You've got to have a little bit of upswing. But I'd rather face a good slider than a good curve.
To the top of Van as he holds the swing. Van getting another start against the lefties. The Mets have seen plenty of it. It's the 9th lefty they're facing in their first 18 games.
Ground ball should end the inning, and it does. So Mets go down 1-2-3, down 2-0, going to the bottom of the second. Yeah, I know people are asking why not Beatty in the lineup. Because of the fact that he didn't look good against lefties yesterday, and you got one of the best lefties ever in baseball right now, in his career, in Clayton Kershaw, who curveball, as you can see, is working tonight. Okay, Jason, so you going to sleep? I don't understand. It's the second inning, guys. Yeah, that's what it is, Darnell. I mean, that's what Buck is doing. That's, I mean, you can't hate it for the most part because Beatty did not look good against the lefties that came into the bullpen yesterday that are not even half as good as Clayton Kershaw. You know what I'm saying? So, could you play him? Yeah, sure. See how he does? Sure. But I'm not mad that, I mean, is Beatty going to make or break this game? Maybe. But it's not like he can't come in like the 6th inning or the 7th inning and pinch it for Escobar or whoever. It's not like he can't come into the ball game at some point. Most likely the way Kershaw, Kershaw is not like a 7-8 inning pitcher anymore. So so, yeah, like I said, I wouldn't mind either way. would I let Beatty play? Yeah, if it was me, I'd put him in the lineup. But you got to understand who he's going up again. If this was a playoff game, Beatty would probably be in the lineup. But it's only the second inning, and Beatty can come to the ball game later in the ball game if there's a pinch hit opportunity where Buck can use him. So it's 2-0 Dodgers going to the bottom of the second. Kershaw curveball has been outstanding. Mets in their lifetime against Kershaw never beat him in the season. Yes, they beat him in the playoffs, but did not beat him in the regular season. All right, so bottom of the second, McGill on the mound. 2-0 Dodgers.
Game in the box where when you opened it, it played a highlight video. Wow, that's pretty cool.
I'm sure that the individual players highlight.
Popped up. Should be one out. And it is.
I don't know if everybody got their own individual highlight.
I think it would be a generic, team highlight.
Yeah, how we won the title.
There's no I in team. No. What happened jumping up and down after they won the mound, something like that, or a team pitcher on the mound.
Whereas the weirdness of 2020 is that they won the World Series, beat Tampa Bay in Arlington, Texas, of all places. I mean, it's getting far enough in our rearview mirror that sometimes it's easy to forget how absurd 2020 was in almost every conceivable way. So for 3 last night, he tops 1-3.
Ground ball and nice play by Escobar.
First base umpire saying that Pete caught the ball against the arm of Rojas, so it's an out.
Well, it's going to stick around to see if the Dodgers want to challenge this. First base umpire Dan Molino, who was the crew chief.
Should be 2 outs.
Well, nice charge on the ball from Escobar.
Yeah, he got him.
Into the line.
And he just had the ball was that he came off the bag and then he tagged him.
Yeah, he tagged him. He's out. 2 outs.
Good call by the first base umpire. Not easy.
Very good call.
Nice play to get Escobar throw that ball over there quickly, and Escobar and Alonso with a nice play. Keep it going. This is going to be a quick inning for McGill. Quick 3 outs, guys. There you go. That's a nice inning by McGill, getting your offense back up there. 2-0 Dodgers, top of the third coming up. So that was a nice inning for Tylor Megill. Yeah, unfortunately. But you know what, though? Listen, there's too many players in baseball that when they're struggling at the plate, they take it onto the field. You got to give a little bit of credit to Escobar for playing this level defense, keeping that offensive struggles in the back of his, outside of his head. Because let's be honest, you can make a difference defensively if you're not doing anything with the bat. I mean, I would love to see his defensive run saved. For all you analytical people out there, from Escobar, because he's made tremendous plays all year defensively. And, people are like, oh, DFA Escobar. It's stupid to DFA Escobar because he still is an asset that he can bring. And right now it's defensively. It's not with the bat, obviously, but it's defensively as well. Well, President, I don't think you would have said that yesterday when Nito got a hit to start that rally yesterday, right? That 3-run rally. So, but I get it, guys. I understand Escobar's not hitting. I know Nito's not a good hitter. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I want you to look around baseball. Look at the lineups 6 through 9, and tell me who has murderer's row. And I mean, there's catchers that are just terrible all around the league. 6 through 9 is nothing to write home about with a lot of lineups in baseball. Not saying that the Mets should just fall suit, but I think we're just looking at the Mets like, oh, look at that 6 through 9, terrible. Well, look throughout baseball and look at their lineups. Have you seen the Braves bottom of the order? Have you seen the Dodgers bottom of the order? Have you seen the Phillies bottom of the order? Have you seen all the other teams at the bottom of the order? Not very good. We just saw the Padres. Do you see their bottom of the order? Not good. All right. So they're showing a replay of the play. Escobar is up. 2-0 Dodgers.
So Pete comes into the line. He's got a glove in his left hand. He can get it hyperextended as a left-handed first baseman. If I get hit, I'm going down. Just folds back. That's why it's a position only for a lefty.
Come on, Eddie.
Or lefty.
Popped it up. This might be a little bit of trouble. Ooh. 1 out.
I always cringe on a play like this when I'm right-handed first baseman. It can hurt your wrist. There's so many things that can put you on the IL.
We've seen some players suffer very serious injuries just that way. And on the field tonight.
All right.
Max Muncy at the end
Nito's
of
up,
the
1
season,
out.
last game of 2021 tore his shoulder up.
Nito hits one to the gap, but Hayward catches it 2 outs. Mets are not doing what they did yesterday, working the counts.
Fans will remember Cliff Floyd when he was with the Expos getting hurt that way. But John Riley ran into his arm at Shea Stadium. It was that was excruciating to watch, and I'm sure it was incredibly painful.
If I recall, Cliff let out a scream. That's why Kershaw's great. Just see his reaction to the first pitch balls to VENMO. He was beside himself. It's nothing but strikes.
So you go up the leaderboard, Clayton Kershaw, one of the leaders pitching in a single ballpark. Interestingly, the three of the top four.
If you DFA Nito, then you're gonna have Alvarez there, who is clearly not ready, and then Perez is gonna be up. So it's gonna be just as bad.
Maybe that's the players, maybe that's the bats.
I think it's the bats, I think it's the players, velocity, a lot of factors.
Let's just talk about Dodger Stadium having heavy air, particularly at night.
And as a kid growing up, back in the days of Bill Fast and Drysdale, they brought the fences in. To hit a home run in Dodger Stadium, you had to hit into the bleachers. That was the fence. So that's another 10 feet. It was a big ballpark. And the gaps.
To Nimmo. And the curveball hit the
Nimmo hits one to left. It's gonna be a tough play. Oh, what a play! Nice play by Peralta going down the left field line to end the inning and not getting a hit for Nimmo. That was a nice play. That was not easy. And that is the third out of the ball game. Of the third inning. So we're going to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Dodgers. No, we can't. If he could hit better than Nito, he would be playing for another team right now because catchers around baseball are absolutely terrible. So, no, that is not true. Just because you see Michael Perez do well in 2 games for the Mets last year doesn't mean he can hit. Right? If he could hit, he would be on another Major League Baseball team right now. The reason why he's on a minor league deal with the Mets, who is not even on the 40-man and can't even get on the other 40-man rosters on other teams. We all would be probably terrible. Like we all think all of us, including myself. So I always include myself with you guys, right? We always act like we would make the right decision after a bad mistake. Like if Buck Showalter plays Escobar, right, over Beatty. Escobar goes 0 for 3. We're like, oh, we should have put Beatty in because we know what Beatty was going to do. Beatty can go 0 for 3 as well. And then what are you going to say? Nothing, right? We always manage after the fact, right? Everybody looks like a genius after the fact, right? It's just how it goes. Like, nobody's perfect. Now, would I would have played Beatty today? Yes. But if you went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts and looked silly against Kershaw, there would be somebody who wanted Beatty in the lineup, either would be completely quiet or says, oh, I guess Escobar should have played. You can't have a both. Jake, I was just going to say that Monday morning quarterback. That's basically what it is. Every mistake, every fan believes the exact opposite and saying, "Oh, I would have done that," you probably wouldn't. You probably would have been doing. Now, would have been times where you might have made a different move, yeah. But most of the time, you would have probably made the same move, and you would still look just as silly as after the fact. So it's just, if this game was perfect, nobody would watch. The same thing with runners in scoring position. So bottom of the third, 2-0 Dodgers. McGill on the mound.
Takes a fastball below the knees from
Top of the order
McGill, first inning,
for the
47 pitches, took it to
Dodgers.
5 to get through a 1-2-3 second. Albin struck out his first time up. He breaks his
Nope,
bat.
breaks his bat. Wow. Shattered that bat. Jesus.
Kindling.
Bad piece of wood there.
Great and long
Oh, Jake,
physicality of the bat.
you're wrong on that one because the Mets have the most stolen bases in the league.
5-run demand in all minor league games. Blackout other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
My car, my guitar, Justin Reese. I love this old player.
Dieter?
Yeah.
James Albert played at Sarah High School.
Oh, we did. That's where Tom Brady went.
Very nice.
Then Swan.
In fact, Alton was better known as a football player there as a middle linebacker. So he went from
I agree with that.
MLB to
But small ball is a dying sport in this game now, unfortunately.
All three sports there. They were going to cover my the cost.
These umpires are already inconsistent. Same pitch, he just called the ball. Last pitch, just called it a strike. I don't get it.
Wise man.
I was going to say, probably a good sense. 3-2 to out.
And he strikes him out. All right, Tyler.
So McGill gets him with a changeup. That's his third strikeout. One out.
And here comes the Met killer.
Freddie Freeman had himself a night last night.
You sure did. Got a hanger right there from Peterson, and then another hanger. This one was good center. Big nights.
And Freddie gets this one near to right field. Should stay in the ballpark.
Can of corn. Got under that one. 2 outs.
2 out.
There we go.
And you can't teach that. First time up, he gets a fastball to left field. He gets a curveball the second time up, but almost launches it to right field. I think he's feeling good at the plate. Yeah. He just missed it. No stride, and he likes that ball down. It's almost like a golf swing.
Here's JD
Let's see McGill pitch differently to JD Martinez, who took him deep in the first inning.
And then hit one into the block in center field for his second home run as a Dodger.
That's gone. 3-0 Dodgers. Jesus. I don't understand. Why aren't you pitching JD Martinez in? Every ball has been outside corner. Makes no sense. Hey, Michael. I just don't get it. Like, why aren't you jamming him? Don't let him extend his arms. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know who's calling the pitches, but why extend it? He wants to hit exact. Keith Hernandez just said it. And Buck even shook his head. I just don't get it.
Than any team in the National League. That's 27 home runs they've allowed in less than 18 games.
Most in the National League.
All right, President. Have a good day.
18 have given up 27.
Austin shot at Buck. And you've seen as many games as he has. All he had to see was the swing, and then he looked down. He knew it was gone.
19th career multiple home run game. J.D. Martinez, and his first as a Dodger.
Michael, I don't think it's control issues because he's hitting his spots. It's just that the pitch selection is bad. I don't think the location's the issue. It's the pitch selection. Like, you saw J.D. Martinez lost a little bit of speed on his bat. Why would you pitch him outside or middle of the plate outside to extend his arms? You got to pitch him in. And he just walked Muncy to us, though.
He's got a reputation. That could have been a strike. The borderline's going to go to the guy that has a reputation of a good eye.
You think that's still the case?
I do.
With the umpires being rated as tightly as they are?
He's going to get a pitch clock violation. Yep. He got a pitch clock violation.
Time clock violation against McGill. Couldn't get the pitch away in time, so that's ball one. Jason Hayward at the plate, flying out to right his first time up. McGill had retired 6 in a row before Martinez's second home run, and as was the case after the first home run, he then promptly walked the next batter. And now behind on Hayward, 2-0. And Hayward hits one up the
And that's a base hit. And Pham bobbles it to center. What are the Mets doing? Hayward goes to second on a bad play, throwing the ball, and then McGill not catching the ball. Looking like the Bad News Bears on defense right now.
Well, this ball's ripped. Once he's thinking about going first to third, holds up. And when it's voted, he goes to third. That makes that an error because he holds it. Just didn't get the hole. It hit his glove. It just popped out. Hayward keeping his eye on the ball, taking a hard turn.
The second error on the play is going to be charged to Jeff McGill for not securing that ball as Pham threw it in. They could have easily called both errors on Pham. One on the one on the throw. But the second error they're charging to McGill. Let's watch.
Oh, that's got to be on Pham. That's got to be on Pham, I would think.
There's Vargas with 2 in scoring position. Jeremy Hefner paid a visit to the mound. I can't imagine why they charge that.
Yeah, anytime the ball bounces like that from the outfielder, it's usually errors on them. And it took a bad bounce as well.
Right, if it had been a clean one hop, then maybe, but that ball stayed down. And Vargas hits it out to left. That goes Cash.
All right, Mark, nice catch. To end the inning, not before J.D. Martinez hits another long ball to give the Dodgers a 3-0 lead. I agree, Stezo. I agree. So that was a nice catch by Canna to end the inning on the 1-in track in left field. Mets will have 2-3-4 up, down by 3 runs in the top of the 4th. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Hanging out with me and other Mets fans and other people on this West Coast trip for the Mets. Like I said, the Mets came back twice when they were down yesterday. Like I said, might not do it today, but they did it. You know, isn't that why we watch? Because we don't know what to expect. That's the thing, right? I understand it. It's frustrating. I get it, guys. Trust me. I had the laptop, the iPad, the TV going, watching the Knicks, watching the Rangers. I was going nuts. Andre, maybe. I would think so because Nino caught 2 days in a row. So I'm assuming Alvarez will catch tomorrow. And most likely Beatty will play tomorrow as well. Yeah, and like I said, if you don't want to watch the game, you don't want to watch the game. That's your prerogative. That's your choice, right? Again, too many people just expect not to ever lose a game. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this team's 11-6, and you would think we're like 6-11. Well, Joe, I mean, he only has 3 home runs. Like, it's not like he's like hitting the cover off the ball. Like, he had 2 home runs today to give him 3. So Syndergaard is pitching tomorrow. All right, come on, guys. Let's get something back here.
He takes a fastball strike from Kershaw. Marte struck out on the curveball his first time up. Marte, Lindor, and Alonso second time around against Kershaw.
Andre, I get it, right? But Beatty was raking hot as hell in the minors. He went 1 for 4 yesterday. So, like, it's not like he's going crazy. Can we stop worrying about what they're doing in the minors? Because it does not matter once they come up here. That's it. I'm sorry. All right, everybody wanted Alvarez up, and look what he's done. Nothing. And Marte strikes out. No, I don't think anybody is an everyday player, but he's getting a spot start today to take Brendan Nimmo off his feet, and that's why Nimmo's DHing.
Casts this curveball, starts above his eyes, and almost pauses. Well, we have it pausing because we have it slow.
Yeah, we look at the minor league numbers and like, oh my God, you got to bring him up, you got to play him, you got to do this, got to do that. Well, Joe, that's where I can agree with you with. I agree with that. That's what the Mets should have done. But they didn't do it. But the Mets also believe that they have guys in the minors that can do it. But they have to come up and do it. Ground ball, this might be it went foul. The problem is, the Mets bring up these guys and they're not performing like when the Braves bring these guys up. They seem like they hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, either you're gonna spend money on the big bat or you're gonna let these kids play. So I have no problem with the Mets making the kids go after it. Let Beatty play, let him see what he can do. But to think he's gonna hit like crazy like he did in the minors, it's idiotic to think that. Well, Joe, I said it. You're either going to trade your prospects or play them. They didn't trade them, so guess what they got to do? At least until the deadline. Play them. Ground ball. Nice play. This might be a base hit, and it is. Infield single for Lindor with 1 out. All right. I think it was prime last year.
Good effort by Rojas.
Well, easy. I think people are talking about like the Josh Bells of the world, the Drurys of the world, Martinez. But if you look at him, not even Duvall, who was good until he got hurt. Like, all right, come on, Pete, get back in this ball game. Oh, Alonso missed it. Damn it. Alonso knew he missed it too. 2 outs. He just missed that fastball. Just got under it.
Well, it has been interesting that Kershaw has diminished the use of his fastball, increased the use of his slider over the years.
He's recognized that he's lost some on his velocity. The slider has become the most important pitch. If he hits his curveball early or reverse side shoulder, something that he'll throw it more often. And 3 changeups, that's all he's thrown this year.
Ground ball should end the inning, and it does. So, going to the bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Dodgers. But no, Andre, you see, that's the problem that you guys just keep on not thinking. If he's batting 240, when is he batting 240? Right? If he comes up and just gets on base just like everybody else, isn't it causing the same problem that we've been having? We need somebody to come up and be a run producer. 240 is not a good average. All right? Let's not act like just because it's better than what Escobar is doing at 120 does not mean that 240 is going to be tremendously better, right? 240 means you're basically not doing as good of a job as you should be doing. We need a run producer. Until somebody comes up and produces, then they're not helping his team. Because Beatty, Alvarez, Vientos, Mauricio, you know what they don't have? And you know what they're not good at? On-base percentage. And if they're not good with on-base percentage, which we really don't need, you got to be a run producer. Yes, they can bat 400 and hit home runs all over the yard in AAA and score and produce runs that way. But when you get to the big leagues, it's a whole nother ballgame. It's a huge jump. You need to be a run producer. The Mets need a run producer. You didn't get it in free agency? Fine. If you really trust one of these guys or 2 of these guys are going to be one of those guys, I think the Mets believe Beatty's going to be that guy, then he's got to produce. Let's stop talking about these prospects until they become a run producer because they're not helping the team. All right? If you're going to help the team, bat 300. That might help a little bit more. Batting 240 is not going to do nothing for us. BX at the moment, it's too early to tell. Like, you don't know what teams are going to be in it and what teams are not. Like right now, the Pittsburgh Pirates are looking decent in the Central. I actually think they're in second place. Like, they're not bad. So you can be looking at Brian Reynolds or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's too early to tell. You know, when it gets to like the end of May or early parts of May, then you can start saying, all right, let's see what teams are bad so you can start picking from their roster. All right, bottom of the fourth, 3-0 Dodgers. Stezo, yeah, it could be like J-Rod, but you know what the Seattle Mariners had the opportunity to do? And what the Mets didn't have last year or right now this year? When they brought up Julio Rodriguez, they didn't think they were going to be a contender. They didn't think they were going to be a playoff team. So they could let J-Rod struggle for a month or two and not worry about wins and losses, right? You can't do that with the Mets right now. You can't let these kids figure it out 2 months into the season and, you know, you fall back well behind in the division because you're losing games because you're trusting the rookies to do something and they're struggling. Then what do? Popped up, should be 1 out, and it is. Yeah, but the problem with that, Joe, is the fact that the Angels are playing, you know, they're playing a little over 500 baseball right now. If they have a chance to get into a wild card spot, they haven't made the playoffs in how many years? They're not trading Ohtani if they're going to make the playoffs.
Anticipating where to set up. Reading situations, just a little extra step, an extra lead here or there.
Yeah, it's not pretty at the moment, but as bad as we're playing, it's only 3-0, right? It could have been a lot worse.
Satisfying is the defense than anything else. He goes, you know, it's really the defense and the hitting against lefties, but there is something special about making big leaguers excited. And he feels like the defensive plays, especially the last few days, that gets the biggest rise out of his teammates. So there's a satisfaction, certainly, to what he's been able to do there. He's just developed great space awareness. If you watch that catch.
You know, McGill's not pitching great, but he only has 58 pitchers in the fourth. His pitch count's pretty low.
Right before it hit the wall and gently hit the
and he walks Rojas.
Pitch walk to Gil Rojas. Third walk coming up on McGill.
Joe, not if they make the playoffs. For a team that hasn't made the playoffs in what, 10 years, 9 years?
Everybody thinks in terms of offense, but
If you make the playoffs, you can't trade him if you're in playoff spot. I don't think they're going to trade him, to be honest with you. I think Moreno is not going to lose all that money for Ohtani. That's coming in if he trades him. McGill's getting a little wild here.
Showalter had said that he might was thinking of PH and Pete Alonso tonight, but maybe that'll be for tomorrow's day game.
Makes sense. Let's try to spread it around and keep everybody off their feet a little bit.
Gary, you mentioned earlier there was a game under 2 hours today.
Hour 50. And there have been a couple of 157s. The Guardians and the Tigers played the second game of their doubleheader today, 1-0. Detroit win in an hour and 50 minutes. It said the first game of that doubleheader was so cold, there were 100 people in the stands. Well, the Tigers won both games, and they've now won 5 games in a row, 3 of the 5 not walk-ups. So that's an encouraging sign for them. Slide for McGill in first strike for the 2. Austin Barnes just 1 for 20 to start the year. Back up to Will Smith, but Smith is on the concussion injured list after taking a couple of balls off the mask last weekend. Barnes and Austin Wynns are now building up the catching. Barnes has the curveball for. So earlier tonight for the White Sox, Lucas Giolito threw 6 hitless innings. Was taken out.
Chris Bryant's not the same player, and the Rockies are not going to get rid of him right now.
White Sox completed a one-hitter being the Phillies.
He just hit his first home run, I think, the other night.
Snyder has 5 hitless innings under his belt against the Padres. Padres have been shut out the last 2 days, and they haven't scored yet tonight.
Yeah, how bad have the Padres been? Jeez.
Juan Soto.
For this homestand, 0 for 21.
They hit 164. It's hard to believe for a former batting champ. And for a rough year last year. 1-2 to Barnes. And he lifts this one out to right field.
All right, should be 2 outs. It is.
2 out. Remember around the Vaders, presented by your Tri-State Audi dealers. Last night, Max Fried came back.
Yeah, well, you know what, guys? When it comes to Soto, when there's no pressure on you in Washington, it's a little easier to play baseball when there's no pressure on you, right? You were the eye, you were the star in their eyes, right? You were their superstar, right? When you get traded to a team that expects you to do something, and now there's pressure on you, that's when things get a little fishy. Went out of play. You know, when finally there's pressure on Soto now to perform, right? I know he was in the World Series in 2019 with the Nationals and all that, but it was Washington. Like, have you heard Washington sports radio? Nobody cares, right? Those are not. There's a lot of fake Washington National fans. Trust me. Like, there was no pressure in Washington for him. Yeah, Andre, that's bullshit because what happened last year, it was just as bad. Joe, actually, they don't have a pretty good lineup. Did you see this? You know, people bitch and moan about the Mets 6-9. Did you see the Padres 6-9? It's terrible. After the 5 batter, their lineup is terrible.
Takes inside 2-1.
Buck is yelling at the umpire right now. I'm not calling the strikes for McGill.
McGill's getting the same plate as Kershaw.
Well, it would make it the first, right? Kind of like playing basketball against Duke when Krzyzewski was there. You're just not going to get the same calls. 2-1 coming.
breaks his bat, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Rojas going to third. That's unfortunate. That was a good pitch. Broke his bat, and they hit it where it ain't. That's unfortunate. That was a good pitch by McGill. That's just an unlucky situation. Change up, got him out in front.
So a big spot for McGill, already down 3-0.
No, Michael, but it's not just this year right now. It was almost all of last year. He wasn't even doing well prior to him getting traded to San Diego. He wasn't having a good year. All right, so Freeman's up with 2 on, 2 outs. Not the guy you want up in this spot.
Third. Freeman 1 for 2 tonight. Scored the first pitch 1 time. So he swings at the first one this time and bounces it back.
That's defense. Up the middle, Lindor. Shaded a little bit to the opposite field and the outfield. If I was Outman, I would not run here. I'd keep that hole open for Freddie. You don't know if Freddie hits.
Unfortunately, let's go by tonight as a changeup down. He has torched the Mets to the tune of 30 home runs after 2 last night. And that changeup misses his 2-1. Just 4 runs total.
Come on, Tyler, let's go.
A little different story tonight. Freeman gets jammed with fastball. It's 2-2. So much uncertainty in the Mets rotation. McGill's starts have taken on an even greater importance in terms of him being able to get deep into games. He's going to have to find a spot starter for Friday. They don't know for sure what they're going to get from Max Scherzer tomorrow after having his start pushed back. Two and 2 to Freddie Freeman. And he lines one to center, but Fenn's right.
All right, there you go. Good job. Was able to get Freddie Freeman the line out to end the inning. Good job by Tylor Megill to keep it just to 3 runs. Going to the top of the 5th. McGill's, besides the 2 home runs, I mean, he only got beat by JD Martinez in this game so far. Everybody else, he's been pretty good. Got to score some runs for him. I'm just saying, man. Come on. I'll take 3 runs from McGill. Let's go. Mets are gonna have up the bottom of the order 6, 7, 8. So it would be McNeil, Pham, and Escobar. Once again, guys, thank you for hanging out here on this West Coast trip. Game 2 against the Dodgers. Mets are losing 3-0 going to the top of the 5th. Stezzo is probably that bad because the Mets never beat Kershaw during the season. They beat him in the playoffs, but never beat him during the season, which is crazy because you know what's funny? Yu Darvish, we never beat in the playoffs or during the season, and then we beat him the last time we faced him. So hopefully that comes to fruition here as well. But at the moment, look, Kershaw is still – he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He knows how to pitch. Yes, his stuff isn't as it was 6 years ago, but he still got that curveball. And, Gary was talking about it earlier. He's not throwing as many fastballs. He's throwing a lot more breaking balls, sliders, off-speed pitches. He's throwing a lot more of them. So that's something that, he changed the way he always pitched. All right, so top of the 5th. See if the Mets can get something going here with the bottom of the order. McNeil, Pham, and Escobar.
Dodger Stadium. Clayton Kershaw has been in firm command. He's allowed just an infield single in 4 innings. He's got a 3-0 lead as Jeff McGill leads off in the 5th. McGill grounded out to second base his first trip. And Kershaw dumps that slider on the inside corner, nothing at 1-2. We're just talking about how much Juan Soto was struggling. Of course, he got the first hit against Spencer Strider, broke up his no hit bid. Still 2-0 Braves going in the 7th.
Ground ball right to Kershaw. 1 out.
Did that with Catter's ball on the last time.
Like a hot potato. Guess he doesn't want to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Retired.
You know, I think Kershaw is like a few years younger than Scherzer. I think he's like, what, 34?
So the Padres now have been scored in 24 straight innings. They get a little infusion on Thursday when Fernando Tatis Jr. finally becomes eligible.
I think Musgrove is coming back as well.
They're not the only team out west that's struggling. Let's go to San Francisco from here. The Giants lost their 5th in a row tonight to Miami. The Giants are now 5-11.
They're saying they had a lot of injuries, right,
They're
Jerry?
in outfield. I mean, Mitch Haniger has been out for weeks. Michael Conforto is down right now. Bryce Johnson, who was playing center field for them, is out. Last night they had Tyler Estrada.
Kershaw got all his pitches playing, all his pitches working right now.
An infielder who should play third base for them.
Yeah, so he's 3 years younger than Scherzer.
Alex Wood came out with hamstring injury.
Ground ball should be an out, and it is 2 outs. Tomorrow's matchup: Scherzer, Syndergaard.
Syndergaard for the first time since he left the Mets. Next Scherzer, after his start was pushed back 3 days with a little below the scapula issue. It's a noontime start here in LA, so 3:10 Eastern, 2:30 the coverage tomorrow on SNY. Here's Escobar. And he takes a slider for a strike. Escobar fly down to right his first time up. Pirates won again tonight. They're 11-7. Jack Sawinski did 2 home runs. They beat the Rockies. And that curveball misses. Ball to strike to Escobar.
If it's not a strike by Kershaw, it's missing by inches. Every pitch precise tonight.
That's drilled down the field line. Good foul.
Escobar just out in front of that one, hit it hard.
Well, these two
Committee, that's awesome. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
The best pitchers of their generation. Of course, Justin Verlander hit the 4 pitch this year. Let's hope to have him back before too terribly long.
And Escobar strikes out on a curveball to end the inning. Kershaw's got through 5 innings. Scoreless right now for the Mets. Bottom of the 5th, 3-0 Dodgers. Oh, boy. Well, it's just one of those days, guys. Through 5 innings so far. You know, Scherzer's just on his game. Kershaw is on his game right now. Curveball, slider, fastball, everything is working. Everything. And you know what? Great pitchers, when they have it, I don't care if they're 38, 35, 40. It's just they just have it. You know, they always find it, you know, every now and then. And, you know, Kershaw is still a very good pitcher considering the fact that he's lost a lot on his fastball. He's throwing 91, 92 for his fastball. But when he throw a curveball at 74 miles an hour and your slider at 83 miles an hour, it's a huge difference. And that 91 miles an hour fastball looks like 98 from those breaking balls and those off-speed pitches. So not looking good for the Mets through half of the game, but still got a half game to go. And McGill has been holding it to 3 runs. So, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely ain't like Milwaukee, even though I stood on those 2 live streams the whole game, which was terrible. But what are you going to do, right? Live and die with the team, unfortunately. Just checking something out. I want to see something. Okay. So just about tomorrow, guys. I'm not doing the stream for the game 3 tomorrow. Got some stuff to do, so I won't be doing the stream tomorrow for the game at 3 o'clock, or if you're on the West Coast, 12 o'clock. So no stream tomorrow, guys. Be back with the Giant series to do some streams. So pregame right now. They show it their live eyes. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Oof.
So that total is down to 6.5 as JD Martinez comes up to the plate. Already 2 home runs.
All right. See if McGill can finally get this freaking guy out. The only guy that's had caused them trouble.
Maybe saved his career in Robert Venskoyak as he scores one down to third base.
Well, still hitting them hard. That was a hot shot by Escobar. Couldn't get the glove on it. So that's an infield hit. Oh, that was a shot. Yeah. Ooh, wow, that took a nasty hop.
In 2013, after 3 seasons with Houston, JD Martinez was really scuffling. He didn't know which way his career was going to go, and so he went out California, worked a lot with Venskoyak, and totally revamped his approach and his swing. But he knew that the Astros.
Yeah, Jay, it does seem like that. But if you can also hold a team 3 runs, you should be able to win the ball game too. I mean, it's not the game's halfway over, but still.
Hey, give me one more chance. I promise you, I'm a different player. They didn't buy it, and they cut.
Henry, I don't know about that. A loss is a loss.
JD Martinez was right, and the rest is history. But it really was, as you said, Venskoyak, who really saved the career of JD Martinez, was hanging by a thread at that point.
And certainly having himself a big night, 2 home runs, and now a hard-hit infield single. 6 hits now against McGill. Max Muncy has walked his first 2 trips. He's up in the count 2-0 here. And 2-1.
You know, thinking that this is like a rough start for McGill.
Did you happen to notice
3 runs, and all those runs came on just JD Martinez home runs. It's not like he's getting hit all over the yard here. His pitch count's still pretty good. Ah, Jesus. They're finding the holes. Not hitting the ball extremely hard, but they're finding the holes.
Well, there's that hole, first and third.
Last year with the ship, that's probably an out.
Well, when we arrived in Los Angeles, the little envelope that held Steve's key said Steve, and the last name was Gelps instead of Gelbs. Gelps instead of Gelps. And the only thing I could think of was the Moops. It's the Moops.
All right, Hayward is up, nobody out. First and second for the Dodgers. And he pops it up. There we go.
Second, Hayward retired. All gets loose. So, Steve Gelps.
Hey,
It's the Moops.
I'm fine with Steve Gelps as long as it's not Steve Jobs.
I don't know. There's a lot more money in Jobs than in Gelps. I think they had to replace the E with a U.
Steve Gelps.
Gelps. I think he's the Moops from now on. I'm sorry, it's the Moops.
Come on, Tyler, let's go.
It says
Keep it to 3, baby. Let's go.
Marcus takes the strike. So McGill with another crisis, trying to keep this game within range as
Denny Reyes is warming up in the bullpen.
Vargas in one of the warning track in left field. The counter track down with 2 in scoring position in the third. Vargas looking for his first hit of the series. And McGill comes going inside with a changeup, and it's 1-1. Vargas, rookie second baseman from Cuba. He's been trusted to play every day for LA. Unlike last night, how the Dodgers have kind of moved on from group of players that helped them to 10 straight postseason appearances. Still got a couple of MVPs at the top of their back order with Betts and Freeman, but a different cast of characters this year. Martinez at second, Muncy at first, and Vargas takes it low, and now McGill painting himself into a corner behind 3-1. With a dangerous hitter and David Peralta waiting on deck. 83 pitches now from McGill. He's thrown as many as 93 in a game this year. He pitched to make here 3-1 to Vargas,
And he walks him.
Fourth walk given up by McGill. And now the base is loaded with one out and Peralta coming up.
All right, big spot here from McGill. Scary hitter with Peralta up.
You know, when you're in a pitcher in this kind of situation, you don't have your best stuff, right? Giving up a couple of home runs, and now you're in trouble. All you think about, what pitch is my best chance to get Peralta to hit the ball on the ground? Need a double play here.
Well, Peralta's been up 3 times in this series and they've thrown the air all 3. Flat out last night, flat out twice tonight. Bases loaded, 1 out. First pitch change up.
Not getting those breaking balls over, those off-speed pitches over for a strike.
Tom Seaver used to always say the best pitch is strike one, but particularly when you're in trouble in a situation like this. 1-0 Trout and Mets struggling. It's a positive for the hitter.
7 hits and 4 walks. There's been plenty of trouble for McGill.
Nice pitch. That's the pitch. McGill hasn't been throwing that high heat. I think that's where he can really do some damage here.
After 9 years in Arizona, and the last couple of months of last year in Tampa Bay, but this is a new, fresh start for him.
Tried it again, just missed.
Big pitch right here. Couple of fastballs, maybe the changeup here, 2-1. Try to get him to roll it over.
It's Luke Williams out on deck. Rojas might hurt, so. Inside 3-1.
Can't get that freaking off-speed pitch over.
Sometimes you gotta let it air out. I agree. Take your chances. Just trying to think along with what he's been throwing all game. Now he's got to come in.
Just walked Vargas, and now behind Peralta with the bases loaded, 3-1. And he lifts one down the left field line and slices it over.
Foul ball. All right, come on.
In foul ground, 3-2. Rojas had the diving play up the middle or through on the ground. He also had the ball that came up and hit him at the start.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's why Luke Williams, who was just called up today by the Dodgers, is out on deck. Williams took Mookie Betts' spot on the roster with Betts going on the paternity leave.
I also think this is a big part of the game right here. It might just be a managerial movement, a left-hander.
I'll just pass this one down the left side, and this one will sail out the play.
Tom.
Martinez at third, Muncy at second, Vargas at first with 1 out. Gill trying to keep a tenuous hold on this game. 3-2.
Got him. Nice strikeout. There you go. Nice fastball. That was one of his best pitches. A running fastball on the outside corner. 2 outs. Come on.
Yeah, it started on the plate, but had a lot of run on it. And you're right, Keith. Sometimes you got to air it out. He did.
So now Luke Williams, whom we first saw with the Phillies, played last year for the Giants and for the Marlins.
All right, Luke Williams is pinching in for Rojas. 2 outs with the bases loaded, bottom of the 5th. Hefner's coming on to the mound to talk to McGill.
I believe McGill has faced before, but this is a free visit to the mound. So Jeremy taking advantage of that.
So I stand corrected. I had Williams as a left-hand hitter. My mistake. So there probably might be something wrong with Rojas.
Yeah. Williams, a lifetime 240 hitter. This will be his first big league at bat of the season.
It looks a lot different. I always remember him with the long locks.
Yep, that's right. One of those guys who play everywhere for you.
Come on.
Maybe only here for a day and hoping to make the day count. Bases loaded, 2 out.
Nope.
Really having trouble locating that fastball.
He's been falling behind the count and having to come back. McGill, he's got guts. It's been a struggle for him.
For his 93rd pitch, that'll match his season high.
Nice. Chase that slider.
Williams, 26 years old. Dana Point, California. Oh, beautiful. Williams will chase that slider. It's 2-1. Dodgers left 5 on base over the first 4 innings. Now McGill trying to scram 3 more. All the runs came on 2 swings in the back by J.D. Martinez. 2 home runs. But there's been plenty of traffic for McGill to negotiate. None more than here in the 5th inning. 2-1 to Williams. Grounded to a toward third.
Foul ball. All right. 2-2. Come on.
2-2. This will certainly be the end of the line for McGill if he gets through this 5th inning. And the Mets will have to rely heavily on their bullpen again. Reyes for 2 innings day before yesterday in Oakland. The first man up tonight. 2-2 to Luke Williams. And a fly ball to left side.
Should end the inning. All right. Good job, McGill. So McGill keeps it to 3 runs going to the top of the 6th. Tough performance from McGill. Only 2 swings of the bat. J.D. Martinez got the 3 runs from 2 home runs. And for anybody who's thinking that the Mets are a complete disaster, that is 8 runners left on for the Dodgers. So they're 1 for 8 with runners on base. And the only run that they got from a runner on was the 2-run homer from J.D. Martinez in the first inning. So McGill struggled through 5 innings, but kept it to only 3 runs. Yeah, he pitched well, except for Martinez. But now the offense got to pick it up. Come on. 5 innings, 3 runs. Let's go. Get the job done. Got to get the offense going. You got to work the count now. You got 9-1-2 up. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Got a couple innings here to go. So once again, guys, if you're still hanging out and you still haven't hit that like button, please do. Once again, there will be no stream tomorrow for the end of the series. Could be the rubber game, or it could be the Mets going for the sweep. Either one. No stream tomorrow for Game 3 of the Dodger series. Be back with you for the Giants series. If you don't know the schedule, I posted it on my community page, so you can check that out. Check that out. And see when I'm going to be doing the streams for the Giants series. And then when we come back home, I'll be going to a few games. So obviously no stream then. But I will do, probably a short. Maybe I'll do a quick pregame before the game. And then when I'm not at the game, I'll do live streams for the game as well. So when we come back to New York, when the Mets finish their road trip, they play Washington and the Braves for the first time this year. So that is going to be very interesting. Well, Henry, that's 100% right, Henry. I love that comment, by the way. I want to throw that up there because that's important. This is why McGill is still considered a pitcher that I like more, because McGill finds a way to grind it out. Peterson seems like he falls apart. All right, so top of the 6th. 3-0 Dodgers. See if you can try to get to him here. Nito's just flailing at that slider.
Well, to his credit, Tylor Megill's been able to minimize the damage and at least keep the Mets around in this game. The question is how deep Kershaw is going to be able to go. Luke Williams takes over a shortstop after pitch hitting from Rojas. 2 to Nito. Now, Luke Williams played a lot of different places in his career. He's only played 18 career innings at shortstop. Which gives you an idea of why the Dodgers are talking about playing Mookie Betts at short.
Oh, didn't give him that strike.
Mookie's a good enough athlete to do it, and even though he's never played shortstop in the big leagues, might be the best bet they have right now. So he's been up in the air for them at that position since Gavin Lux got it. And he just got a piece of that slide to stay in the event. I mean, Lux. You saw the injury, right?
Yes.
Running between second and third, and just took a bad step.
You know, the third baseman was trying to round the horn and double play. So he tried to get out of the way so the throw wouldn't be right at him. And with that little move, season ended.
And Nito strikes out.
Slider. 6 strikeouts now for Kershaw as he continues to roll. Let's check in with the studio. Aiden McInerney's game break brought to you by McGill. Amen.
Thanks, Gary. Braves looking to make it 8 in a row, taking on the Padres in the top of the 4th. Sean Murphy takes Blake Snell deep to left. His 4th of the season makes it 2-0, and that's the score now, Gary, in the top of the 8th.
Memo is up.
Flies one down the left field line, slicing away and foul.
Wow, that ball almost went out.
It's Dave Barrett's out. I didn't know we had that kind of power that down the left field.
Went off the wall and left field. A couple of hits that way.
He went to the left field corners last time. I think Walter was in for went down with a nice running grab. And he lines this one to left, but Walter's right there.
Hard hit left field, and he catch it. Damn it. No luck.
The one that Hayward dropped in the first inning in that one. So 2 out of nobody on. Now Marte, who was all sorts of trouble with Kershaw tonight. Twice struck out both times. With the 6 strikeouts for Kershaw. Came in as the 4th active pitcher in strikeouts.
It's 170 away from 3,000.
And Marte makes a Marte hits it hard, right to the third baseman to end the inning. Mets go 1-2-3. Bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Dodgers. And Reyes is coming in from the bullpen for the Mets. So once again, guys, the Mets can't hit Kershaw. Kershaw just has everything today. Every pitch he has, he's on his game. Just not a good night for the Mets through 6 innings so far offensively. Looked like they can take advantage of it early in the first inning, but didn't get the job done in the first inning with VENMO at third with nobody out. Didn't get it done. And they have not done anything since. 1 hit in the ball game for the Mets. Hey, JL, how you doing, buddy? What's up, guys? I appreciate you guys hanging on with the West Coast game here, hanging out with me through a late night, even though some of you are not from the East Coast. That's okay. Easy, yeah, I understand that. I get it. But there's about 27 other catchers in the league that are probably just as bad. I mean, we did have McCann last year too, so. But again, I think he should be playing Alvarez at this point. And just, at least he might lean into a home run. But, yeah, nobody's hitting anything right now. So. Oh, you're in a pool league. That's cool. I like that. I haven't heard that in a long time. I was in a pool league in college. I was with a couple of my roommates, and we went to our local bar. Or, well, You weren't supposed to drink, but we went to the local bar.
What? I'm something less
Less
than
than 2 weeks.
I'm something
Is that really your name?
That's my name.
All right. Bottom of the sixth, 3-0 Dodgers. Reyes is in the game for the Mets.
You don't know what my contract looks like.
That's true.
It's a little light, Steve. A little light.
I need to partition some of it for some new clothes on the road here, right? Better jacket? No,
Oh,
just
yeah,
better
yeah,
jacket,
better jacket.
better gear.
They're
you know?
working on it. They're working
Okay.
on it. I'll get my winter coat in the middle of August.
Danny Reyes.
Oh, interesting. So this is like a legit tournament. Cool.
You know, the best part about that for me is that sometimes I feel as though you're not really listening to me. And that confirms for me that maybe sometimes you are.
Oh, we're on, Gary.
Gary, did you know you said it in the moment?
No idea. I had no idea until well after it was over. And then it was explained to me.
Cool.
Steve, that was why.
Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Because when Gary said it, we reacted right away, but he didn't catch it at all. Head down, he's doing his job. I do remember that within a minute, I got about 5 text messages from people
What
in
up?
the truck saying, tomorrow, the first thing you do, come to the truck and watch Keeping Around the Reactor. Well, it's a good thing he didn't.
Denny Reyes in 4 games, no earned runs allowed, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, and no home runs. It's been pretty good for us.
Strikeouts in Oakland.
Austin Burns on the ground ball. Third now, James out.
Hey, you keep it close, you might pop into something,
A broken down single to center his last time up. 1 for 3.
You get to that Dodger bullpen,
McGill slogged his way through
got a
5
chance.
innings. Certainly have to say did well to give up only 3 runs. All 3 came off.
Problem is, Kershaw's pitch count is low.
To give up 7 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 96 pitches in 5 innings. So through 4 starts, McGill's ERA is even 3. Which for this beleaguered starting pitching staff right now has been everything that the Mets could have asked for, much as was the case early in the season last year when they needed a strong start from McGill. 0-2 to outfield with Freddie Freeman on deck. Reyes pours one low.
Hey, Reyes has done a nice job since he's been called up. He's a big monster on the mound. My gosh.
6'4", 255. Making his 5th appearance. Still has a lot of runners in that. And this is down with the changeup, and it's 2-2 to Houtman.
That's a big man right there.
He had a big league debut with Baltimore last year.
Looks like a former Dodger, Kenley Jansen's father.
Come on.
Not overpowering by any means. By today's standards, he throws 92, 93.
It's kind of an assortment of pitches that a starter might have, and that's why you use them a lot for more than 1 inning.
Throws a cutter, throws a changeup.
Nice.
And
2
there's
outs.
a fastball to get out, but up in the zone. 3rd time out.
Reyes might stay in this bullpen.
He's got a hole up and in. It's almost every pitch, and that wasn't even in. He was more in the middle of the plate. But anything up above the belly.
Well, Freddie Freeman's been in attack mode all night. It makes it
All right, come on.
pitch in the first, lined out center with 2 aboard to end the 4th. And he takes first pitch slider in off the plate for ball 1. But Kershaw has not gone beyond 6 innings this season, but it certainly appears as though he will tonight. Just 73 pitches and 6 brilliant innings. Freddie nearly took out the Mets dugout that time.
I mean, you feel like it's physically impossible that a left-handed hitter could hit it there, but he did.
That just missed inside from Reyes 2-1.
Freddie's got such a good eye at the plate, and all the great hitters have knowledge of the strike zone. Put you ahead in the count, don't see the bad pitches, and don't get behind the count.
He lofts this one out to left center.
Oh, he hit that far, but Fan catches it, And the inning is over. So Reyes comes in and get a 1-2-3 to end the 6th. 3-0 Dodgers going to the top of the 7th. Mets have 3 more times at bat to try to get back into this ball game. Only down 3 runs. See if they can try to get Kershaw out of the game and get to that terrible Dodger bullpen. That would probably be the best way to get back into this ball game. But you got to start working the count a little bit with Kershaw here. You can't just keep on letting them get in them in early counts and swinging away like that. And that's where they fell into trouble in this game, not working the counts. But then again, Kershaw has been throwing strikes as well, so it's kind of hard to be taking pitches when he's throwing strikes. But he does throw a lot of crap too. So, but it doesn't look like a promising game. But the Mets are still in a situation where they can come back and make this game interesting going into the later innings, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So the Mets will have up 3, 4, 5, Lindor, Alonso, and Canna. So you got the middle of your order up. See what they can do here. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. And once again, tomorrow there will be no stream for Game 3. Be back with you doing live streams during the Giants series. If you don't know the schedule, I posted it on my community page, so let's take a look at that, and you'll have an idea of what I'm doing in the streams. Again, everything is TBD. Life schedule might change out of nowhere. No, Mark, I understand that. But if you see where he's throwing his slider and his curveballs, they're nowhere near the strike zone. I understand, he's throwing the fastballs, why they're swinging early. I get that. 100% I get that. But that's not the Mets game, and we all know that. The Mets are not a team that starts swinging early. They're a team that needs to get on base, and you got to be a little bit more patient with Kershaw. You can't just be swinging early because it's going to hurt you, because the Mets are not that type of team. All right, let's see what we can do here. I mean, he's had all his pitches all night. He's just been almost impossible to hit.
3-base error by Jason Hayward, but Brandon Nimmo at third, first batter of the game. Kershaw then struck out Marte, struck out Lindor, he struck out Alonso, and he has not walked back. So only one other base runner, an infield hit by Lindor in the 4th. Curveball bounced toward third, foul ball, 1-2. Lindor, Alonso, and Canna in the 7th.
Kershaw has faced 21 hitters, 17 first pitch strikes, 7 0-2 counts, no 3-ball games. He really fans his glove, doesn't he? Early in his career, he must have been a guy that maybe sometimes let pitchers know what he was throwing, so that's how he countered it. That was one of the things that Rusty looks for in pitchers hitting his pitches.
Lindor trying to fight to stay in this at bat.
Rusty said the bad habit for young pitchers was when they had their fastball, their glove was loose, and when they dug in to get the grip to the breaking ball, that it tightened the glove.
Ball 2.
Way 2-2. That's the Lindor's looking to play tonight. Struck out on the curveball the first time up. Unfortunate base hit his second time up.
Lindor's fouling it off, putting a better at bat together.
Kershaw worked. It's the first time Kershaw had to throw this many pitches in at bat.
I think he's going to drop a curve this time.
Numbers speak for themselves. His Hall of Fame credentials are already accomplished.
Ball 3. Good eye. There's the first 3-2 count of the game.
And then Canada as the Mets trying to get something started in the 7th. They were able to rally in the 7th inning yesterday. They got 3 separate times in that game last night. 3-2 for Kershaw.
And he strikes him out. Nice pitch.
Did you see his expression after he struck out? Let go. The catcher was set up in, and it was a pitch up and away. He wasn't happy with the location, but he got a strike.
Yeah, that was one of those breaking balls that didn't break. That's why it fooled Lindor.
He used his expression for Francisco. Now on to a foul back to high fastball. He just struck out and flied out today.
It's just a vicious cut right there. He is so dangerous.
Kershaw's retired 19 of the last 20 Met batters. Now lots of that's 0-2.
So the difference he's making with Pete, the other pitchers from the Dodgers have stayed through breaking ball in the strike zone. He is throwing.
Yes, he is, Mark.
Pete likes to swing in the breaking ball, but if it's out of the strike zone, he's not going to
Freaking doing a Picasso painting, man. Just picking away at the Mets batters right now.
Yes.
And he strikes him out with the slider. He's just picking them off. Well, Hall of Fame pitchers, they just, when they have it, they have it. And Kershaw has it tonight. What a curveball. Jeez.
Slider cutter that he developed probably after his 4th or 5th year, and it's become his most important pitch.
Canada, who's been up twice, grounded out both times. And he takes a fastball for a strike.
Pete's face was like, it's like an optical illusion. I mean, that swung right through it.
That breaking ball was up, and it broke down a little bit.
Ronnie's point is well taken. It was right over the plate. I mean, it's that normally a lot does good cover, but it's a different
That's
concept.
what happens when a pitcher puts you on your heels.
Six outside. Let's do it.
It's a really good point, Chief. He's been working from that top all game long. So
88 pitches now for Kershaw. He's thrown as many as 100 in a start this year, so maybe he goes 8 or even 9 tonight.
Catch one out to the mound.
Roberts would love to stay with the bullpen, which has been incendiary. Probably up as of yet. Big Drip is watching. Good one to Cannon. Takes a slide forward in. That's the first 3-ball count of the night. Played Kershaw. So McGill will be next.
He's been going to a slider like late.
And strikes out Cannon. Oh, 3-2, excuse me. Sorry about that. They had the wrong count up there.
And he uses his timeout.
throwing a lot of sliders here. He might try to finish him off with a fastball away. Let's see if he changes it up.
3-2 from Kershaw. Cannon grounds one foul and slider at 3-2.
Just thinking, when you come down to the end as a pitcher and you're working on a good game and you know that it might be your last pitch, sometimes you air it out on that 3-2. Just throw it as hard as you can for the last pitch of the game.
Cannon slides for a foul. A couple of long at bats in this inning. 9 pitches to Lindor. He's going to have to throw at least 8 to Canna, and that might short circuit his chances of winning the game.
That's what the Mets do.
Again, the 3-2. Next one, foul on the slider.
Cannon has fouled off some tough pitches.
Pitch from Kershaw to Cannon. That would be a 10.
Cannon's putting best at bat of the night together. Found hard, tough pitches off.
Up to 94. It's might put in for a shower. An early shower.
Takes the decision away from Dave Roberts.
And Cannon
Another tough pitch, fouled it off.
It looks like he took a little off that pitch.
10 pitches deep, but Cannon's still in there. Just a tick past midnight in Manhattan. This will be your jump man. 3-2 coming. And the curveball
Fouled it off.
He did very well to foul that pitch away.
I was just wondering if he was brave enough to throw a 3-2 breaking ball after all those sliders and fastballs. And he is, of course, future Hall of Famer.
Pitch number 12 coming.
Another foul off. There you go.
He's throwing fastballs, he's throwing sliders, he's throwing the one curveball. He's trying all his weapons.
Jose, that's a good point, buddy. I like that comment.
Pitches deep in this at bat. It is marked up with 23 pitches, first two at-bats combined. And he punches one in a row.
And good at bat by Canna getting 2-out hit. Good at bat. Best at bat of the night.
13th pitch of the at-bat. Canna has the Mets' second hit of the night against Kershaw.
Let's get the bullpen up, I would believe.
What a bat. What an at-bat.
A good pitch inside it, jams him, but he comes in inside out and muscles it into right field. That's just a great at-bat.
Best at bat of the day for the Mets team. Jeff McGill up with 2 outs. Maybe get some type of 2-out rally here.
Last night and Phillips first man up in the Dodger bullpen.
And McNeil gets a base hit. Canna's going to go to third. Here we go. Tying run coming to the plate. Tommy Pham's coming up. Are they going to take out Kershaw? I don't know if the pitcher in the bullpen got warmed up. They got bat here. Here we go. 2-out rally. Come on, Tommy.
That matches the most Kershaw's thrown in a game this year.
A little gas and no place to walk around. Pitch timer.
And at third, McGill at first with 2 down. Pham, 2 home runs on the year.
All right, come on. Be patient here. Might be a spot for Brett Beatty, maybe, if they change the pitcher, if Pham gets on.
That 13 pitch at bat. McGill followed on the next pitch with a second straight hit, and now it's 2-0 Pham.
All right, you take that pitch. Looking fastball there. He throws you a breaking ball. You'll take that.
Give up the hit. Now he's got to regroup and do it to Pham. I thought that might go out with Chad did. He's getting a breather.
Pham has never had much luck against Kershaw. He's 1 for 16 in his career. Trying to come through in a big spot.
Ooh. That looked like a high fastball there. Tough pitch to call. Good eye. Nice eye. Good eye. Good eye. All right, the runners will be going here. 3-2.
Certainly will be Kershaw's last batter, whether he gets it or not.
Fuck. Swung at a bad slider in the dirt, and the Mets do not score. Threatened a little bit, but Kershaw got him swinging. Nice pitching by Kershaw, of course. Mets do not get it done. Damn. Well, that sucked. Going to the bottom of the 7th, 3-0 Dodgers. I was hoping Pham got on somehow. The situation there, I don't think Kershaw was going to throw him a strike. But that was a good pitch. And it says it was going to be a ball. But that was a nasty pitch. That ball started on the outside corner and just dropped to the feet. Like, what are you going to do with that? Like, It looks, of course it's a ball, but at the plate, that ball looks, that ball turned into a beach ball. All of a sudden it drops off the table. What are you gonna do? But I didn't think Kershaw was gonna throw him a strike there. But you got to protect, and that ball looks like it's gonna be on the plate, and then it's not. Just like that. But unfortunately for us, the Mets do not score, and now we got to see if we can keep it to 3 again and try to get to the Dodger bullpen in the next 2 innings. That would be the only hope for the Mets. The only thing that is kind of annoying is that the Mets will have 8-9-1. So we're going to have the bottom of the order in the 8th inning. And then if that doesn't work out to get out of that inning quickly, you're going to have the middle of the order coming up in the 9th. So the bullpen that is very, very sketchy for the Dodgers will have to get through the next 2 innings to win the ball game. Yeah, exactly, Grant. He's out of the game now. Like I said, that pitch by Pham, it was a ball, absolutely. But where that ball started letter high on the outside corner, and it broke into the plate and then up to the feet. Like that's it's just a nasty pitch. Well, best performance of the night, best performance of the season for Kershaw. First time going 7 innings this year, and of course it's against our Mets. Bottom of the 8, 7, 3-0 Dodgers. Reyes is still in the game.
JD Martinez up for the 4th time.
I'll be right back, guys.
He's accounted for all the runs tonight with a pair of home runs. A 2-run shot to center in the first. Opposite field home run in the 3rd. He had an infield hit in the 5th. Right off that fastball for Denny Reyes. 1-1.
Oh, yeah.
There's every reason to be all smiles tonight. He's in line for his 200th career victory, and he turned in a gem.
It's amazing, and then the athlete can have that primal scream literally 3 minutes ago, and now waving and blowing kisses to his kids.
At the family at Dodger Stadium, they've been honoring the late Vince Scully all night, and all of Vinny's grandchildren were here tonight. Passed the baseball to one another with the ceremonial first pitch. And a slider just off the plate, 2-2 to Martinez.
Vince's first broadcast was on this date in 1950.
1950. 67 years later.
Brooklyn Dodgers lost to the Phillies at Shibe Park.
Later known as Scotty Knight Stadium. And that slider, this is his 3-2 Martinez.
So, I mean, it was on the board here before the game that Vinny, they had an interview with him. When he was young, he was only doing 2 innings a game, third and the 7th inning.
Red Barber's microphone, he opened out to share, and Martinez down looking, so he's retired for the first time tonight. All of us broadcasters were there.
Oh, I don't think the Padres are good at all. Freaking Annalise has beaten up on the Padres.
35 years after he won the 4th.
The great Buckner call of our World Series in '86.
Made every great call. Koufax's no-hitters, World Series games, Fernando Mania, Kirk Gibson's incredible home run in '88. Next month, he's been on base 3 times in a row. He's also a great football announcer, golf broadcaster. He was the be-all and end.
It's not how much you say, it's how you say it. I think that call with Mookie, the dribbler up the line, was 18 words. And then 3 minutes of silence. Silence within, not silence of shit.
And then what did he say when he finally spoke? He said, if a picture
Yeah, I know what's wrong with the Padres. Maybe they're just not that good. Their rotation is not that good. The back of the lineup is not that good. You know, the same problem that everybody complained about with the Mets. Just check out the lineup for the Padres, 6 through 9. It is one of the worst in baseball. Even the Mets have a better back of the lineup than they do. And that's hard to think. Well, you know what, Joe? Last couple of years, the Braves came up really slow. Started off really slow in the last 2 years. And it ended up being really good for them. So maybe this year they start off hot and maybe they slow down at the end of the year. Maybe it's a little different, right? The last 2 seasons, they started off really slow. In 2021, they won the World Series. Last year, they started slow, 10 games out of the division, came back, won the division. So maybe this year they start off fast, and maybe it'll be different this time. But you know what? It's not like they're not a good team. They really are.
Jason Hayward is 1 for 3. Moves out of the way of the fastball, ball 1.
Jeff Brigham, who just got called up, is warming up in the bullpen for the Metropolitans.
Roscoe going on the injury list with elbow inflammation. He was supposed to start Friday in San Francisco. So we need to find a starter for that day. Slow slider that this is inside. It's 2-0. Jeff Scherzer arrived at Singo, which is the series in San Francisco on Thursday. And then Peterson and McGill Saturday, Sunday. Hold down first.
Foul ball.
Barely missed an extra base hit. Although with people playing as tight to the bag as he was, if it was fair, probably would have had it.
I think people have made the play. People have playing really solid first base. He's guarding the line. He's not that much off the line.
Ooh, just foul.
That would have been big double rip all over.
Just missed the ball on the first base umpire Dan Molino. So 1 to Hayward. Change up ball outside. It's 3-1.
So let's start by Blue Tyler and Scherzer going tomorrow. Let's think of sending an extra day for your next start in San Francisco.
And there was always going to be an extra starter plugged into this road trip. It was first going to be tomorrow, but then Scherzer being pushed back to tomorrow on the big Sunday. The thing about that is that you could presumably bring Guto back to start Friday, but it would have to be for somebody going on the injury list. In other words, if they called Guto up today, they could have done that because Carrasco went on the injury list. But because they called up Brigham instead, they're going for Hayward. Somebody else would have to go on the injury list. So they're going to come back that quickly. They have to stay down. So 10 or was it 15 days?
It was 10 days.
Back-to-back walks issued by Reyes. And Buck Showalter heads to the back.
And Buck is coming out to take out Reyes to bring in Jeff Brigham, who just got called up from AAA. So first and second, 1 out for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th, 3-0 Dodgers. Mets threatened a little bit with 2 outs. Had first and third with Tommy Pham up, and Pham strikes out against Kershaw to end the inning, and that killed the threat from the Mets in the 7th. Still got 2 opportunities to come back in this ball game, but got to try to keep it at 3 runs here. I think giving up another run here is really going to hurt our chances to come back in that ball game. Since the 3-run lead is obviously a little bit easier to come back from a 4 or 5-run lead. So, once again, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel once again for another watch party on the West Coast, technically a West Coast edition of the live streams here for this 10-game road trip. Doing a lot of West Coast games here on the channel, so it's always fun to do that. Oh yeah, exactly, Grant. And Jeff Bringham's pretty good. Like he pitched pretty well in spring training. And he was one of the guys that we thought was going to make the roster on opening day. He didn't. Now he's up. He'll probably be up here for a decent amount of time. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. So it is interesting to, the Mets have made a ton of pitchers going up and down this season already, just with 18 games, with the starting pitching, with the injuries there, and how to use your depth from the minors. And it looks like there's a possibility that Joey Lucchesi or Dylan Bundy is going to make that Carrasco start on Friday, one of those guys, because Jose Buto can't unless, as Gary was talking about, another person that's going the IL for Buto to replace. That's how it works. You have to keep a guy for 10 days when you send them back down once you bring them up, unless there's an injury and somebody goes on the IL. So Buto might not be able to come up unless there's an injury. So it could be Lucchesi or Bundy that you'll see on Friday against the Giants. Sanger is starting a series against the Giants on Thursday. So you get the ghost pitch in San Francisco. So see what Brigham can do here.
First appearance as a Met against a slider in for a strike to McGill Vargas.
53 games in his career for the fish. This is what he did last season.
It's brought him in as pitching depth in a trade over winter, which they gave up minor league outfielder Jeff Mango. And a high slider swung and missed by Vargas 0-2. Jake Mango going to the Marlins for Brigham and Eliezer Hernandez. To the Vargas.
And he strikes him out. Good start by Brigham. First at bat of the season for Brigham, and he strikes him out. 2 outs. Yeah, he has a nasty slider.
He said his favorite pitcher to watch has always been Adam Ottavino because it feels as though his slider is very similar to Ottavino.
Yeah, I see that.
Come on.
Adam, though, has gotten to a point where he's got 3 or 4 pitches he can throw over. It's usually going to be the slider only.
So 2 out of 2 on David Peralta, who's 0 for 3 today. He fouls back.
So he's going to throw his fastballs to lefties because the slider was falling right into the wheelhouse of left-handers. Low and in, left-hander's dream. So Brigham's got to be careful with a slider low and inside.
Only one Dodger pitcher has thrown more, and that was Don Sutton, did it 63 times.
Yep, so he's sticking with the fastball with the left-hander.
I mean, that's 8 more than Don Drysdale.
Yep. I remember that, Grant. 2 outs, 2 strikes. 3-0 Dodgers, 7th inning.
Five straight strikes thrown by Brigham. 0-2 to Peralta, and he yanks that slider.
That wasn't a good slider. Got to keep that ball up against Peralta here.
More shutouts than Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander combined. And Babe Ruth has more shutouts than Clayton Kershaw. Different game.
Certainly different expectations as far as starting pitchers are concerned.
Oh, where was that pitch? Jesus. Backdoor slider, and he just didn't get the call. Jeez.
Climbs the hill again. He'll have to throw one more to Peralta. Muncy at second, Hayward at first with 2 down.
Got him. Brigham comes in with first and second with 2 men on and 1 out and strikes out the next 2 batter he faces. So good outing by Brigham. Another guy that the Mets can definitely use in that bullpen there. He's got that nasty slider. So Mets are coming up in the top of the 8. 2 more at-bats to try to come back into this bowl game. Threatened a little bit in the 7th against Kershaw, but didn't get it done. Mets will have 9-1-2. Nito, Nemo, and Marte against the Dodgers bullpen, who has struggled. Phillips is coming in for the Dodgers. Got to get to this bullpen in these next 2 innings here. If not, rubber game tomorrow. Yeah, Andre, it has been. The two things that the Mets can hold their hats on right now, right? Some days the starters look good. Sorry. Ouch. That hurt. Sorry about that. Kind of got my neck caught in my chain. Ouch. So what was I saying? The two things you can hold your hat on as with the Mets, the bullpen and the defense, and both of those have saved a lot of games for us and got us over the top here. Yeah, exactly, and that was the problem last year. Even though the bullpen was good for the Mets last year, the Mets didn't have a lot of depth in the bullpen. We got lucky that a lot of the bullpen stayed healthy last year, because the Mets would have been in trouble if they were having issues like they have now with all the pitchers they've been using. The Mets would have been in trouble in the bullpen. But last year they were healthy, so interesting to see that. All right. Sorry, the stupid chain and the hat. It's this is a new hat that I got from somebody. I try to match with the Ranger hoodie. All right, so Vogelback is pinch hitting for Nito. Obviously, in this spot, you want Vogelback to work his on base here. Evan Phillips is in for the Dodgers.
Last year. So Vogelback on the bench against the lefty tonight. Right up to pinch in. Yes, why would you have Vogelback lead off the inning? Well, he's a high on base percentage guy. And then you can run for him. Batting for Escobar. Beatty on deck to bat for Nito. And a fastball strike from Phillips. 1-1.
This is in 21 at bats. He's thrown 8 walks against right-hand pitchers.
Phillips doesn't walk many last year. Only 15 walks in 63 innings. 33 hits in 53 innings.
And that's a base hit by Vogelback. Hebrew, no, because the game's still not over, and it's been 3-0 since the time he left. So, all right, that's a good start. Leadoff hit. Dodger bullpen has been the problem. Top of the order for the Mets. And Alvarez is pinch running for Vogelback, which makes sense because he is going to I'm sorry, Beatty's pinch hitting for Nito now. Vogelback pinch hit for Escobar. Excuse me, guys. So, Mets have an opportunity here. Yeah, Hebrew, but you know what? The Dodgers left 11 men on base. So, if it wasn't for J.D. Martinez, they would have no runs. You can look at it that way, too. All right. And, double play. Wow, that sucks. Nothing you could do there. Hit it hard. Alvarez just got caught right there. No way for him to get back to first. 2 outs. Nothing you can do there. The hell of a catch. That sucks. What can he? There's nothing you can do there. Hit it hard. Second baseman made a nice play. Jumped up to catch that. Nothing you could do there as the hitter or the base runner there. Caught in no man's land. That's rough. 2 hard hit balls. Just one of those nights. Nimmo hits in, ends the inning, and it does. So, look like could be a promising inning, but the luck didn't come up for the Mets. Unfortunately, they actually hit the ball hard and right at somebody. All you do is tip your cap and say that's baseball. That's all you can say. Jesus, that sucks. But you know what? It's like it's been an offensive juggernaut for both teams, right? 11 men left on base for the Dodgers. The Mets haven't had a lot of base runners. Only 4 hits. Not an offensive performance there. No, it doesn't, Hebrew, because it's just a situation where it's baseball. Like, your problem is when they score runs, everything's rainbows and sunshines. When they don't score runs, it's, the world's ended. So and it's just a thing, I mean, you were also complaining yesterday as well when the Dodgers took the lead twice and then the Mets took the lead and then it was all okay. It sucks. I get it. But you're going to have a performance like this. You are. Every team goes through it, right? The Padres scoreless in 24 innings. Yeah, and Kershaw, this is his best pitching performance of the year. What are you going to do? It sucks, but it's baseball. That's what happens. It's not like the Dodgers were hitting our pitchers all over the yard because they weren't. JD Martinez hit 2 home runs, and that's the ball game right there. But no, Hebrew, go back to every game. I want you to go to look at the scores of every game. And I'll go through them with you just for the hell of it. Like, we keep on thinking about that, but it's not true. It's not true. It's not true at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just going to make a point here. Ground ball, 1 out. This is game number 18 for the Mets, right? 10 of those 18 games, they scored 5 runs or more. So your point, your comment is wrong. So nearly half their games, more than half their games, they scored 5 runs or more. So that comment, there's no evidence for that. But again, it's baseball. It happens. Like I just don't understand why you just don't get that point. You will have 3 hits in a 162 game season. It happens. You're falling into a trap that you don't have to fall into. You can win a ball game by just having 3 hits. The Dodgers have 7 hits and 11 men left on, and they have 3 runs. Sometimes you just get a good pitching performance. That happens. The Phillies lost game 2 of the doubleheader, 3-0. It happens. Look at the Padres. Have you seen their performances over the last 3 games? They haven't scored a run in 24 innings. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Hebrew. But I just went over it. And I'm not even counting the games that they had 4 runs and won those games. So the Mets have 11 wins. That means that when they score 5 runs or more, they're winning 90% of their games. And only 1 game they scored less than 5 and they won. So what you just said is just not true. I get you disgusted, but it's one of those games.
3-2.
And he walks him. You know, the game we scored 6 runs against the Brewers, we lost on a walk-off. That could have been a game we won, right? You know, people talk about the offense, but yet we're 7th. Yet since yesterday, before today, we're 7th in runs scored in baseball. 7th. No, because it's not about disagreeing or agreeing. I just gave you evidence. What you just said is wrong. You can't be discussing with an offense that more than half their games they scored 5 runs or more. He's out. Oh, I think he came off the bag.
Well, the part of the game that's been non-existent. And Barnes does have some speed for a catcher.
Ooh, just stayed on the bag.
He took advantage.
But you shouldn't be tired of this offense. You see, you're falling into the trap of September. That's what you're falling into. You're not. I don't want to hear about Vientos. I don't want to hear about Beatty. I don't want to hear about Alvarez. Beatty and Mauricio. Beatty, and that's Beatty and Vientos. Oh, excuse me. Beatty and Alvarez are up. They got to get the job done. All right. Alvarez has been up for more than a week now. Hasn't got the job done when he got the opportunities. Beatty, still too early to tell. But when he did play, he was 1 for 4. He came up with opportunities where there was runners on. He didn't get it done either. Well, that might be true, but also the Kansas City Royals won a World Series without having more than one power hitter. Just saying. And Freeman pops it up. This might not be deep, but Canada doesn't have an arm. And that's what happens when you don't have an arm. 4-0 Dodgers. But again, you can disagree about that, but I just gave you another fact. The fact that I gave you 2 facts already. So your comments have no evidence. You're just saying, oh, I'm disgusted with the offense. Why? Because they scored 8 runs yesterday and 0 today. You know what that's called? Baseball. I mean, come on. You just can't. You just don't get it. You're just not understanding the whole point of evidence. Give me evidence when you give me a comment like that, or you have no merit in your comment. You're not disagreeing. You're just not understanding that there's evidence of that. There's facts there that I'm giving you about that, buddy. You know, the Phillies hit more homers than anybody. They didn't win a World Series, so did power matter? No, because they were a one-dimensional team, and when that got shut down, they couldn't hit. They couldn't do anything else because they were too one-dimensional. So stop thinking that power is the only way you can win a World Series. Watch the World Series last year, and when the Astros needed an actual clutch hit, they got the hit that was not a home run. They hit home runs, absolutely. But they hit a lot of clutch base hits to score runs as well. They weren't one-dimensional. But it's not a fluke. All right, you know what's a fluke? Winning 87 games and making the playoffs and getting to a World Series. That's a fluke. You keep on saying about the offense. You're still not giving me no reason why or an evidence of why you are disgusted with the offense. Because of today, the Mets scored over 30 runs over the last 4 games. How is the offense a problem? Just because they got outpitched today by a Hall of Famer? That's stupid. It doesn't have to be the 80s. And that's going to be another run. Should be 5-0 Dodgers. But why does 6 or 7 innings and have 2 or 3 hits matter when runs matter? See, this is the problem that we're talking about, right? You're talking about how we score those runs instead of did we score the runs. This is the problem where he says how we win instead of did we win. You fall into that trap because all that matters is the runs. Who cares how many hits you have? If you score 17 runs, you scored 17 runs. If you care about how you score those runs, let me ask you something. If the Mets win the World Series, but they won it by getting 3 or 4 hits in a World Series, but win the World Series, you're going to complain because the way they scored the runs? No. You're one of those fans, and I don't care how old you are. You're one of those fans that want to care how they win before you ask, did they win? And if you're that type of fan, you're never going to be happy. So you're wasting your time watching the team, and when you're never going to be happy no matter how they win. They're not going to win games 10-0 every single day. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. You know, there's too many teams that are one-dimensional, right? I just talked about the Phillies. The Phillies all year were the same exact team they were in the playoffs. The only difference was they hit a few more home runs more. They got hot at the right time. They hit a lot more home runs. But as soon as they stopped hitting home runs in that World Series game, in the series, they couldn't score runs because they were so one-dimensional. The Astros won the World Series. Yes, they hit a ton of home runs as well. But when they needed a big hit, they got that clutch hit and scored those runs as well. They're not one-dimensional. And I'm not saying the Mets are a big power team. They're not. But when you score, you're talking about power. But the main fact of the matter is the Mets are 7th in baseball. Last time I checked, there's 30 teams. 7th in baseball in runs scored since yesterday. They might have dropped 1 or 2. So they're in the top half of the league in runs scored. Who cares how you score the runs? I just don't understand that fact. Some people, when it comes to, you don't care about did they win. You care about how they won. I don't give a fuck if it's 1-0 or 10-0. Did you win or did you lose? That's all that should matter. If you care about how they score the runs, then you'll never be happy. And if you're a negative Nancy, I don't know what to tell you. Don't watch anymore. I don't know what to tell you. Watch tennis. I don't know.
Sinking fastball is what you get from Graterol.
Stezo, I don't care. Apple Watch. I don't care. But the whole fact of the matter is the Mets 10 out of 18 games scored 5 runs or more. When the Mets score 5 runs or more, so far this year they've won 90% of their games. I just don't get it. Like, stop talking about the offense. I understand about the power, but that's not the only way to win baseball games. Then the Mets should never win a baseball game if all that matters is power. Again, Hebrew wants to see, steroid, Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire and everybody else on the A's using steroids. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. There's too many people fascinated by how you win. When the Royals won a World Series in 2015 by exactly what the Mets did, the way the Mets are last year and this year, they lacked power. They played good defense. They were a scrappy team. They worked the counts. And occasionally they hit their home runs. They stole bases. Oh, no, by the way, the Mets lead the league in stolen bases. And Marte had a tough night tonight. 1 out. Yeah, and I'm sorry, the Mets didn't hit a Hall of Fame pitcher today who had his best stuff of the season. That happens. But you know what Hebrew didn't bring up? that the Dodgers now they're 3 for 12. They're 3 for 12 with runners on base. That's still not good. Yeah, I agree, Joe. And then Hebrew would have said, well, they still don't look good somewhere. I don't like how they're winning. He would have said that too. No, I just don't understand some people. You know, I put up that poll. Do you care about how your team wins, or do you ask the question, did your team win? Do you know that it was a lot closer than I thought? That there was a lot of people that put how you win. Why do you care how you win? I just don't get that. It's crazy to me. And Lindor strikes out 2 outs. Mets are on their final out, 5-0 Dodgers. Alonso is coming up with 2 outs. Alonso pops it up, should end the game. And the Mets fall to the Dodgers 5-0. Get their first loss on the West Coast trip. Don't tell anybody, but now the Mets are 4-1 on this road trip. Shh. Sorry, I didn't know that they're not supposed to lose any games here. All right, it was a bad day against a Hall of Fame pitcher that had his stuff today, guys. That's all it comes down to. The Mets scored over 30 runs the last 4 games. You know, they scored nearly 30 runs over the last couple of games. Like, let's not go crazy. But it's not about disagreeing, Jesus Christ. Look, Hebrew, see you tomorrow. I just don't know what to tell you anymore. I just don't know. Like, it's not about disagreeing. You don't give me facts to back up your comment. I just gave you 2 facts when it comes to the offense. 10 out of 18 games, because today was 0. 10 out of 18 games, the Mets scored 5 runs or more. 90% of those games they scored 5 runs or more, they've won. And the Mets only lost 1 series this year. I don't care who they faced, because then you could take away all the Braves games against who the bad teams they faced, and you could take away the Phillies games that they faced bad teams. You're going in tomorrow, a chance to win the series. You got Scherzer on the mound and Syndergaard, who has a 5 ERA. All right, like let's not act like we're 1-5 on this road trip, because we're not. That's the problem. His argument is that he's frustrated with the offense, but never said a word yesterday about the offense. Not one. So when the Mets score runs, everything's all sunshines and rainbows. When they don't score, he comes up with the same comment over and over again. Again, he's not going to be happy, because if you care about how you win, 9 out of 10 times, you're probably going to be dissatisfied, because a lot of the times you're going to win a 4-3 ball game. You're going to win a 3-2 ball game. You might win a 10-9 ball game. And then Hebrew was talking about the pitching today. So you can't be happy. He's never going to be happy. And that's one of those fans that whatever way it swings on that day, that's what he's going to feel. So Mets lose 5-0. They lose their first game on the West Coast trip. They still got the opportunity to win a series, which basically all that matters. If you win a lot of series, remember the Mets won. Like, I would have loved to see Hebrew last year when the Mets did not lose a series until month number 4. Like, adversity happens to every team. All right? It happens to every team. It didn't happen to the Mets until month 5 last year. It's happening now in April. It's not always a bad thing. It sucks, but you deal with it. And maybe adversity early on helps his team later on. Again, it's not about agreeing and disagreeing. Throw up the facts. I just gave you facts. All right? The Mets have one of the best defensive teams in baseball. Their bullpen has been top of the league, and they're 7th in runs scored. And then he goes, well, look at their average. Okay, I understand that. it's got to be better. But they're still finding ways to score runs. Shouldn't that matter? If it doesn't, then you won't be happy. So with that said, Mets lose 5-0. Rubber game tomorrow. Syndergaard versus Scherzer. Scherzer obviously was pushed back from the Oakland series to this game. I'm not sure how much he's going to pitch, depending on amount of pitches. So that's something that we have to see tomorrow. Again, I'm not doing a live stream tomorrow for Game 3. So I'll see you guys during the Giants series, a couple of live streams there. And we'll see if the Mets can take the series tomorrow against the Dodgers. And then they would be 5-1. Interesting. But that's good enough for some people. So with that said, everybody have a great night. Let's go Rangers. Let's go Knicks. And of course, let's go Mets. Have a good night, guys.
You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets cheer for all your Mets here. Let's go.